those, shall we say, non-discreet swear words. 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 Those, shall we say...
It's Twilight Zone.
It's Twilight Zone. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Terry.
Just to get Peter to say the same thing over and over and over and over again.
Now, what were you saying, Peter?
You want to play that game, do you, Terry?
Oh,
What game? I don't play games.
No, but I do.
So we've got some regular peanuts out there that are naked.
Mm-hmm.
Spookies aren't only naked below the waist. So that's okay, Spooky. We can't see that.
So how come some of us have gone all naked again?
Well, Alan did a culling because he thought he thought it'd be safer that way in case some of there'd be peanuts out there that he's got spanners.
Oh, I see.
To
So
that he
Pip,
didn't
so
want to behave. He didn't know
so
whether
Pip's
they
seen
could
as the
behave.
so Pip's seen as the sensible one on there. Then she's
Yeah,
gonna.
well,
she's
Well, I
gonna-
am.
Well, I
Like-
got my spanner.
Well,
Who else?
That's
Peter,
probably true, Pip. Actually,
Nippet, Peter.
I've still got mine, Casual. Have you got yours, Casual?
No, Carl's not got one.
No, I bloody haven't.
No, neither have I.
Hey. Huh.
But I'm only
well.
naked from the neck up.
Yes, Muppet.
Well, that's probably just as well.
Told me out in the side chat all you like. I'm still in here.
I heard you discussing.
Oh,
I heard you discussing the bit of dirt we had today, so might have to run it by us all again. What I missed out on.
What JM Truth?
Dirt.
Oh, JM Truth, eh?
Oh,
Yeah.
JM Truth's last ever debate. He went out the same way he came into Flat Earth, making a complete dick of himself.
And where will I find this debate?
That's Fight the Flat Earth. That was supposedly his last ever Flat Earth debate because he's got more important things to do with his time. And just his opening statement will have you face palming. Forget everything else. Just his opening 10 minutes is like, really? Did you really just say that again?
Well, you know why he's going to be so busy.
Was it on Fight the Flats channel?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I'd like to know what's he going to be busy with? What else is he going to make a fool of himself
he's
with?
He's going to be so busy because he's decided to start heading east and find the wall.
Oh,
So it might take him a bit of time.
a bit.
Yeah, like the rest of his life.
I don't seem to be
Going round in.
Oh, hang on a minute! I've come back to the same place again. How did that happen? I must have been going the
you
wrong
can't-
direction.
you can't really say
I'll go the other way.
Because if
I'll go the other way.
if he goes straight east and carries on going straight east, he's going round a continuous circle. So it's not even going round in ever decreasing circles because it won't, unless he deviates off course.
Can you do it in 80 days though?
It
Yeah.
depends.
Oh,
It
yeah.
depends on farmers if his compass has been calibrated. After all, we know what he's like with calibrating high tech instruments and alike. So
Oh well,
Yeah.
give it a couple of weeks and he'll be somewhere north of the Arctic Circle. Then.
I cannot find it in Shilya's shit, so I'm going to have to look for it.
all of a sudden, JM Truth's new measurement around the circumference of the Earth is 10 times bigger than any measurement ever before, and he hasn't finished.
There is a moment in there when he confuses radius with diameter.
Oh, dear.
Brim Fundell says, JM is fed up of arrogant people who think they know everything. I don't think he understands irony or has any mirrors.
This is true.
Oh, we're going to see it, are we?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we'll play a snippet of it. Do you reckon at the beginning of the debate was the best part?
His opening statement.
Yeah, he lets JM do his opening statement first.
And the rest of it's
yeah,
probably
you
just arguing.
Yeah, so just skip the first few minutes. Yeah, try about. Yeah, give it a little bit more. That's it. Use a keyboard. It's a lot easier.
You are slightly fed up with the whole flat Earth thing in general, right?
Let's be clear. I'm fucking fed up with it.
You're fucking fed up with it. Why is that?
I'm just tired of the narcissistic, arrogant on both sides. But right now, I've got a beef with flat earthers that I'm just kind of done with. What I've seen in the community is not behind the scenes is not what they're trying to portray to the audience. So
Right.
So I've got better things to do with my time than to be arguing. And really, to me, debate, what we're doing here really is not a debate. A debate is actually counting points, and you actually have a panel and
Yeah.
personal debates are more.
I mean, I suppose it's an amateur debate what we're having.
Yeah.
I would actually very much like to have a professional debate moderated by people that are actually trained to moderate debates between myself and a flat earther and see who would actually win. That would be very interesting. But you are correct that what we have in these situations is more of a structured conversation than a professional debate. Hi, Nathan. Obviously, messaging you already.
Well,
That didn't take long.
So someone just asked me why am I shit talking? Not. I like flat earthers that are
Nathan
keep it
messages
honest.
him
I'm
all the way through.
I was going to say that it didn't take long for Nathan to start butting in already.
No, but Nathan was posting in the side chat, but he was also texting JM because all the way through the conversation, his phone's going off and he's just stopping and reading it. He's being coached by Nathan.
against the narcissistic, arrogant people who believe that they are the end all be all. I don't think that's shit talking. I'm calling it the way I see it. You know, Nathan's my best friend. Nathan's one of the few people I know that have kept it really pretty honest and straightforward with most things.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's just
You know,
hearing Nathan and honest
Sorry, I
in
got
the
a
same
cough.
sentence.
What? Nathan Thompson and honest? What? How?
Yeah,
Who?
I had to cough there. What's he talking about? Is he talking about the same Nathan as we're thinking of? There's not a different Nathan out there, is there?
No, he's on about Nathan Thompson. Yeah.
Well, that's one face palm straight away there, isn't it? You know, immediately.
Well, I didn't bring any protection, so you'll have to supply your own.
You know, you're on the other side of that, Craig. So I've known Nathan now for a long time. So Nathan actually is a good guy.
So I do appreciate you coming and having your final word on Flat Earth here with me. So we're going to have all right, let's not refer to it as a debate. We're going to have a structured conversation. The team will shout at either me or you if we start over talking or anything. And the way it's going to work is we've both got 10 minutes to present evidence, then 10 minutes to rebut the evidence the other person's brought up. Then we can have an open conversation and a question and answer session. Would you like to go first and present your case?
Doesn't matter to me, Craig.
Well, you're the guest, so why don't you go first?
Okay.
So just whenever you're ready, I'll start 10 minutes and you can just do your thing. You said you're just going to talk rather than present anything, so...
I'm going to keep it really simple. My goal here is not to convert anyone to Flat Earth. My goal is to present information and leave the audience with the ability to go research for themselves as opposed to what we've been taught in school. So I guess I might as well get started before I... So my
In other words, go to my YouTube channel.
How can you research something that you haven't been taught? If you've been taught, because the same research, the same evidence and information out there is going to be what you got taught at school.
You can't research something that doesn't exist.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't exist. What's to research? Good luck.
Well, that's the problem. There's so much woo out there on the internet now that purports to be evidence but isn't.
Yeah.
But that's what they're researching. That's what SE researches. That's what they all
You
research.
can research something that doesn't exist. There is multiple things that you can research that don't exist.
Yeah.
Like?
Without getting, well, I don't want to upset anyone's beliefs or anything like that, but you could go down that whole unicorns. There are many books out there about unicorns. There's scriptures and writings about unicorns in the past. Dragons. You can
buy unicorn farts off eBay now.
Well, you can. You can get unicorn flavored donuts.
We'll talk about that.
So the thing is you can research mythology, but there's a magical word in front of it. Myth.
Myth.
What do unicorns taste like, by the way?
I think commentators just they myth that.
Yeah, they myth that.
Myth
They
it.
taste like rainbows, but a bit sweeter.
Yeah,
Rainbow
that's
flavored
correct.
horse.
Rainbow flavoured horse. Okay.
Unless you get the horny bit, it gets stuck in your throat.
Oh, well, you're always horny. We know this anyway.
Yeah.
So
True,
basically, you're saying that unicorns taste of Skittles.
Yeah, taste the rainbow.
No,
Taste
they
the
can't
rainbow.
taste like
Yeah,
Skittles,
exactly.
because
Taste the rainbow.
Skittles is a real thing. They have to taste like rainbows.
Yeah.
Well, Skittles taste of rainbows, don't they?
Yeah.
So the claim
Well,
goes.
Well, I
Question
think that
question from the chat. Sorry, guys, getting back on topic. Riley said in a comment now that not all triangles add up to 180. Can someone here confirm if that's true?
What?
You could say that some triangles don't add up to 180 degrees. It depends on what type of triangle it is.
Triangles drawn in conventional Euclidean geometry, i.e. on a flat surface, have to equal 180 degrees. However, as we all know, that if you draw a triangle on a big enough sphere, it can equal a downside more than 180 degrees. But that's because it's in 3D.
But is that what he's referring to or not?
I don't know. If that's what he's referring to, he's finally changed his tune after I don't know how many years.
It's the only way, like Farmer said, the only way a triangle can add up to more than 180 degrees if it's drawn on a ball.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Conventional.
Probably wasn't what he was meaning, but he'll take it now.
Yeah. If you draw it on a flat surface, i.e. standard 2D Euclidean geometry, it can only be it has to be 180 degrees, otherwise it's not a triangle. But if you draw a triangle on a sphere, if you went down from the North Pole to the equator, turned 90 degrees, went the same distance around the equator, turned 90 degrees, went back up to the North Pole, you've got a triangle whose three angles add up to downside more than 180 degrees. They add up to 270 degrees.
Oh, right. He was asked what the angles. Yeah. That was ages
That's
ago.
it.
Yeah.
You could draw a triangle whose angles add up to 270 degrees. You have to draw it on the ball.
You can also draw a triangle with less than 180 degrees, but that doesn't require a ball. That requires hyperbolic geometry.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a while ago. He didn't know what the internal angles were of a triangle 1, 1, and 1. That was a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, maybe.
And an equilateral triangle. Yeah, an equilateral triangle has
He
got
needed
to add up
he
to
needed a
180
triangle
degrees.
calculator.
Yeah, he couldn't even work out in his head that it was an equilateral triangle because he said, "Oh, is that a right angle triangle?"
Yeah.
Clearly not. As one angle has to be 90 degrees. Yeah, but he, like all of them, he is technically illiterate.
Back to James.
Play, please, Terry.
Yes,
It's going to be.
This is proper.
First, I grew up as a globe earther. I used to believe the Earth was round, it was a ball and spinning. Okay, that's like we all grew up. That's the way I grew up. The more research I did, I found that a lot of what I was taught would appear to not be the truth or the case. The Earth that is spinning behind you, Craig, is a CGI model. Every Earth that you've ever seen that's spinning is also a CGI model. There is no, that I'm aware of, there is no actual photograph or even moving film of the actual Earth. And any attempt to prove that there is folly at best. The cameras even that were used in the Apollo missions would have been destroyed by the radiation alone. So that can be proven. You can go look that up.
I'd like to hear his explanation of our fires that we had when we had the Himawari taking the footage of that while the fires were actually happening. I'd like to hear his explanation for that.
It'll be CGI.
CGI.
And they matched several other satellites as well, didn't they? Don't forget.
Yeah, and too bad that the smoke on the ground could be matched up to the smoke taken from the Himawari as well.
Yeah, you did that, didn't you, Peter?
Well,
I have a feeling.
People's did it.
Yeah,
New
a
Zealand.
number of us did it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that flat earthers have no idea how CGI is actually done. They think it's just this magical thing that you can just make to make instantaneous, perfect copies of things, rather than the complicated thing it actually is.
And it isn't perfect either.
Fred does it all the
That's
time
the
when he's filming a rocket.
You can tell a CGI film from reality. If you create a CGI human, for instance, like the face, and it's talking, okay, you could just tell that it's not real because it's really difficult to actually match the tiny little muscle movements of the face. It's really, really difficult because the face has got so many different muscles.
Like they did with
Three
Leia
movies
in
that come to
Star
mind.
Wars is one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, three movies that come to mind that everyone knows of. Lord of the Rings being Smeagol.
Yep.
You know, that was computer generated graphics. You know,
was that a human face though? Was it? Or
it was no, it was the body was they were wearing the stocking with the dots all over it, so it did mapping and all of that type of stuff. But then you've got Avatar. You know, the planet of the blue people.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah, but again, that they weren't human though, were they?
The ones I'm talking about is ones like they did for Leia to put her in Star Wars. They actually CGI'd her.
CGI'd her back into it, yeah. But
yeah,
even with that, Terry, even with that, they used scenes from other movies to bring her back in, like scenes that weren't used. So, look, they just don't understand.
No. Carry on.
Play, please, Terry.
I'm really not gonna argue all that stuff, but so basically my three arguments are this, and I'm gonna keep it to three because I don't want to go off on all these different tangents. First, major bodies of water on Earth do not curve under any circumstances.
Yeah, they do.
There is no proof, other than very badly explained video, that water curves, but you cannot replicate it in the lab.
Yes, there is.
And the definition of science is to be able to prove and replicate. So, major waters of body or major bodies of water, do not curve. Spin. The spin is a crazy argument in and of itself. We've been taught that we're spinning at 1,100 miles an hour. If that were the case, that's 1.5 times the speed of sound. Sound would not be able to keep up with my voice. And it would be lost somewhere behind me.
Oh, stop it there.
So
I told you his opening statement would be painful.
Oh, God. Where'd you start with that?
You can't play too much at a time, Terry. Otherwise, we have so much shit to debunk that it'll take us all.
Well, he did have the curved water. He did have the curved water first. That was his first one. So, do you want to backtrack to the curved water, or do you want to just skip that? Go to the spinning Earth
there.
My simple argument against that, and it's really, really, really simple, is the hour hand of a clock traveling faster than the speed of sound? No, it's not. Yet it's traveling twice the speed as the Earth is rotating. Thank you.
Yeah, and the other point to make is you don't measure rotation in miles per hour.
No, of course you bloody don't. No, of course not. I mean, you know, Jesus, was it 0.0036 RPM or something, isn't it? It's spinning out or something on those lines.
Yeah, something small.
0.00036 RPM. I mean, is that fast? No.
One revolution a day.
Well, exactly. Yeah. I mean, you couldn't. I mean, you couldn't sit down with a tennis ball and rotate it in your hand that slow. You just can't.
Half the speed of an hour hand on an analog clock.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. You couldn't do it.
It's rotating at 0.006944.
Oh, 69. That's it. Yeah, got it wrong. 69.
And how many tachometers do you see calibrated in miles per hour?
Yeah. Oh, God.
I could revert back to that quote from you know who, 15 degrees per hour.
Thanks, Bob.
Exactly.
Thanks, Bob.
They go through that quite a bit in here, actually. And if you watch the entire debate, there's one thing you'll be screaming at your computer. It's axis, not access.
Oh, does he say access rotation?
They do. Even Team Skeptic does that. He keeps calling it access.
So hang on. They come in the front door to the rotation, do they?
Yeah, it must be better. Yeah.
You killed it.
Woohoo! Play.
The other issue is you cannot have it both ways. If the Earth is spinning and the atmosphere is not attached to the Earth, then Coriolis would be a thing. But since it's attached to...
What? Oh. Coriolis would be.
He doesn't understand, like most of these people, he doesn't understand what Coriolis actually is. They don't understand why it happens, how it works, anything.
He's just about to say, but it is attached, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Well, let's see.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have let it play it a bit longer then. I was a bit premature then.
To the Earth, according to Globe Earthers, you cannot have a Coriolis. You guys have got to fix that and figure out, do we have a Coriolis or don't we? Now, I have done weapons for a long, long time. I've got armormen like Daryl Lee who will testify to the fact they never, ever, ever, ever use Coriolis when accounting for rounds that are sending downrange. I don't care about what some sniper off camera has to say.
I've got an army brochure or booklet that actually states in it the Coriolis curvature of the Earth calculations in its firing to aim it for trajectory and everything. It's actually in an army thing I've got somewhere here.
Yeah,
I can guarantee in any military in any part of the world, in any artillery manual from any part of the world, it will mention and talk about Coriolis without a shadow of a doubt.
I'll go one step further than that, Casual, and I'll say the new Australian 105 round that they're using in the artillery, it is programmed into the computer to adjust and allow for Coriolis.
Yeah, there you go.
It's in the computer. You just put in the grid reference because they're all GPS set up.
Yeah.
You put in the grid reference where you want the round to land, and the computer goes, I can do that, or no, I can't do that. You know, it does all the adjustment.
Yeah.
Bit more.
I know several snipers. I've gone through a special weapons course myself. There is no Coriolis ever accounted for when firing any weapon that I'm aware of. Okay, and I've even shown the evidence, the argued evidence for the mortar manual, which I believe has been proven to be fraudulent now, because that chart that they bring out now was changed back in history, or years back. So now it says
Hold on, pause. What is he saying, that the mortar manual in the military is fraudulent? Is that what he's saying?
Yeah.
What?
That's a pretty standard flat Earth technique. Is that when you have evidence brought against you that's almost irrefutable, you just say it's fraudulent or it's fake.
Yeah. What?
But he's saying that there's
I
a new
suppose, Paul.
there's a new book out though. Where's this new book?
Well, there's new manuals for all of the, no matter what country you're in, for each of your all of your manuals for all of your weapons, they are updated regularly. They're not just written once and then forgotten about. They're updated with new procedures, new rounds, a more efficient way of doing stuff, the upgrading the weapons and all of that type of stuff. So for him to turn around and say that it's there's a new one replacing it, so that one's been debunked. Well, no, because they transfer the information from the old one into the new one, plus the additional stuff, the amendments.
Yeah.
Exactly. The real point to make here would be that modern targeting systems use computer technology, and all of that sort of calculation, the Coriolis calculations, are all done by the computer. The modern soldier doesn't have to worry about that sort of thing. They just put in the coordinates and the computer does all those calculations for them. So it's not surprising that the manual that the soldier uses doesn't mention it, because the soldier literally doesn't have to know about it anymore.
Yeah, he's not lying when he's not lying when these guys say, "Oh yeah, we don't have to factor it in." No, because the computer's done it for you, mate.
Yeah, that's right.
And like even
who's
like
writing on the screen?
I can remember when I first joined. So if you were calling in for artillery or something along those lines, you'd have to do a resection of a number of mountains to get a reference point to give your grid reference where you wanted the artillery to land. Then you had to give a grid reference to where you were, so that they could allow for any anything that may have thrown your calculations off. And with that, they would then double check all of your calculations and make sure that you got it all right. Where nowadays, it's literally what they're teaching is six-figure grid reference, and tell them to let them rip. It's the computer just does everything for them.
And also, following his logic as well, that every Mortimer that is following this new book that he's talking about, all their rounds are going to be inaccurate because the manual's fraudulent. Following his logic, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to be complete. They're going to miss the target. Oh dear, not very good army then, is it?
I know.
Plus, that's not actually what you're accounting for, because the Coriolis shift for any kind of a mortar round would be far greater than the mills in which they're showing on that chart. That's actually a mills chart, not a Coriolis chart.
Any idea what he's talking about? Mills?
Yeah.
What do you mean mills?
Mills is what the army uses instead of degrees, Terry.
Oh, okay.
More accurate.
So, if you...
Well, how many mills are there in a circle again? Is it 7,000? Oh, is it 400 or 600? I can't remember.
So try 6,400.
It's a long time since I was in Army Cadet.
So it's 64,000. Sorry, 6,400 mils.
Yeah.
In a military circle.
Oh, okay.
In comparison to 360 degrees, it just makes it a little bit more accurate when you're doing your calculate. It's different. That's all it is.
Yeah.
In essence, it's different.
You learned that in the Army Cadets. I didn't. I was cheated. I didn't know that. I've learned something new today.
Well, all of our compasses were basically Army compasses, so they're all graduated in mils.
Oh.
And it was actually after I left cadets and went to do a D.A.V., and it was like, hang on a minute, these compasses are crap. Why? Well, they're in degrees. And I said, what do you mean they're in degrees? I said, they're nowhere near as accurate as this one I've got from cadets.
Yeah. But, and although that's not technically correct, your answer will be possibly a bit more accurate.
Yeah.
Play, please, Terry.
I can say probably change that to keep up the illusion that the Earth is spinning. Okay. So as far as that's concerned, there is no Coriolis. Coriolis, if there's a Coriolis, it either would affect everything or nothing. Coriolis doesn't pick and choose based on what is hovering above the atmosphere or in the atmosphere, what it's affected by. And really, I don't care what any argument is. The fact that you have a motor in a vehicle does not change the effect of Coriolis on that object. It really doesn't. And you can actually prove that through tests that you can do in a lab. Okay. The biggest argument is, again, the second law of thermodynamics. You cannot have a gas pressure. It doesn't matter how large or small of a gas pressure. You cannot have a gas pressure, also known as atmospheric pressure, without a sealed container.
No. I've learnt that. Atmospheric pressure is not gas pressure.
But the atmosphere is a gas.
Oh.
That's
Gas,
the argument
man.
they use. The atmosphere is a gas, therefore it's gas pressure. Where's the container?
I don't know how
Did
many
anyone
times
hear him
ad
say
nauseum this
thermal?
has been explained.
Yes, he does keep.
Yeah.
He keeps calling it thermal dynamics.
Thermodynamics.
Yeah, I know.
It's hard to say from that point whether he was. I was looking for that actually. It was hard to say whether he actually said thermal or thermo at that point. I'm not saying he
I
is.
think he calls it that all the way through, basically.
Does
Can
he?
you go
All
back
right,
a little bit, Terry? I want to hear him say it.
Oh, no, that's all right. It's okay. It's all good. Don't worry.
The law of the second law of thermodynamics. You cannot have a gas pressure.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It does say thermal. Yeah, he does. You're right.
Yeah, it just
he
doesn't
does.
say it
Yeah,
very
yeah,
pronounceable. Yeah.
Pressure.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how large or small of a gas pressure. You cannot have a gas pressure, also known as atmospheric pressure, without a sealed container. Period. Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. We've got to answer
Another
Nathan's.
message from Nathan.
We've got a message from Nathan again. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's got nothing to do with the second law of thermodynamics.
No, it doesn't.
Without a sealed container. So, you know,
He loses his train of thought every time he comes off the phone with Nathan.
until we are able to wrap our heads around the fact that we may have been lied to, and for anyone that says we could not possibly have been lied to, doesn't understand that we've been lied to a lot in through our governments and the world governments and all that stuff. So, for anyone to think that it's impossible, just go look at our education archives, and you will see lots of different philosophies that change over time. Okay, and they've got philosophies for all kinds of things that have been proven wrong and rebrought and proven wrong and reintroduced. It's really until we, as a society, give a shit about what the truth is, and we stop believing our handlers, or also known as government agencies, and the ruling.
Pause a second. That sounds like Nathan Thompson right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Is it me or does everybody else think the same
Yeah,
thing?
when he brought up the government
It sounds
stuff. Yeah.
really.
Yeah, that's a text he's just got from Nathan. To say all that. Yeah.
I just love the fact that his basic argument is people disagree and people discover and people are proven wrong, therefore government lying. That's just such a stupid argument.
Oh no, it's dumb. Yeah, doesn't prove anything.
Class.
That's what gets me. It's like they keep going on about, or NASA told us this, or the government told us that. NASA told us this, the government told us the other, and it always comes back to NASA or the government. I'm pretty sure a lot of the stuff that I learned about the Apollo program and all the rest of it didn't come from government. It didn't come from NASA. Well, okay, yeah, probably a lot of it did, but a lot of it didn't either as well. A lot of stuff I learned about space travel didn't come from NASA or the government.
Another point to make is that a lot of the early discoveries in science were actually made by religious people, because the church was a very big part of everyday life then. And a lot of the investigations they were doing in science were religiously oriented. You know, they were trying to find out things. And a lot of the discoveries they made were made by priests and clergymen and stuff like that dabbled in science.
Yeah, and they were the people in authority in those days.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And they were the people that had the time and the money to do the science.
Well, the Big Bang it was a Jesuit priest that came up with the Big Bang, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but wasn't it the Vatican one of the biggest financial supporters of scientific discovery and you know, all of that type of stuff there at one stage? Like before NASA and all of that were around, they were the only ones that could really afford to pay someone just to be paid as a scientist.
Well, hasn't the Vatican still got one of the most powerful telescopes in the world?
I believe so.
I think.
No, there's far more powerful telescopes than what the Vatican owns, and that's a myth anyway. The Vatican didn't actually own that telescope that they call it Lucifer. That's a red herring.
Oh, okay.
It's actually owned by a university.
So where does the Vatican come into it then?
Not sure.
You know, might have to do some research.
Yeah.
Play, please, Terry.
And decide that we're going to go out and test these things for ourselves, we're never going to know the truth. Again,
that's another one. Go out and test everything yourself to know the truth. Like half of them do when they go out and do tests that don't even work.
One of their tests, isn't it, go outside and have a look?
Yeah, it looks flat.
Looks flat to me.
Yeah.
Doesn't when you watch a sunset.
No.
I've gone out and done a laser test at 35, 36 miles distance at 4 feet off the ground. I don't care what refraction index you bring up, unless you can actually calculate that shit and show me where my evidence.
It's been shown that laser tests don't really work too well too close to the ground because of refraction.
Yeah, and by him saying I don't care about that shit invalidates his experiment right then and there, because we know those sort of effects exist in reality. So for him to say I'm not going to worry about those and don't care about those makes his test the shit test in the first place.
I think that wonderful image of a laser beam bouncing through a fish tank full of water is a perfect example of why his laser beam tests can't be used for validation of what shape or anything along those lines that the Earth is, because unless you're doing it to the highest scrutiny, which obviously he doesn't anyway, the answers that he gets from his so-called experiments are going to be somewhat pushed in the direction that he wants them to be anyway.
Yeah.
Is wrong. Shut the fuck up. That's I'm tired of hearing refraction index and no one actually being able to pull the numbers out, and they pull this argument out of their ass and throw it at you and go, refraction index. What the fuck is the refraction index anyway? Anybody? No, I have yet to have anyone prove my experiment or my actual measurement wrong. It really wasn't an experiment, I guess.
Lots of people have.
Wait a minute, I've got to read what Nathan's writing to me again.
Of course, Nathan, they put you on timeout. They don't want to hear you.
What's my next line in my script?
Nathan,
Somebody's timing them out.
Nathan must be in the side chat getting timed out. Yeah. We can scroll down and see that.
Don't time out Nathan unless he's being abusive. Let him.
Hey, there's
do
no
his thing.
there's no need to even let him chat in the chat. None of us are children. He has nothing important to say.
Ooh.
Well, maybe to you, but he may have something important to say to somebody else.
No, I'm
Just 'cause
saying
you
we're
don't
not
think he-
kids, so it's he's not even. No, we're not kids, so he's not going to be interested in talking to any of us.
I think Team was
No.
making a joke. But anyway,
I
Jane,
know.
you've got like a minute left if you want to.
Wait a minute
use it.
left. So the bottom line is, like I said, I grew up as a globe earther. I grew up wanting to be an astronaut, all that shit, until I started diving in and doing my own research and not being affected by, and no offense, Craig, but people like Fights of Flat Earth and other globe earthers who were on the opposite argument, trying to sway me back to their side. I actually had to come at it from a perspective of trying to prove that the globe was real, not that the globe was wrong. I never ever went out to prove the globe wrong. I went out to prove what I'd been taught was real, and found it wasn't. I will
Oh, you got about
concede my
15
time.
seconds, Jam.
Prove it to who?
All right. Well, the retard was strong with
Just
that
himself.
one. Fight the flat Earth. Do you have anything to say?
Thank you for that, JM.
Hey, question: are we? And I know you just can't help yourself, team, but the insults is not.
Okay, I apologize. Hey, fight, you fucking
Yeah.
moron. It's your
Yeah.
turn. There you
All
go.
right.
Now we're even.
All right, butt munch. Yeah, he's just having fun, JM. Don't worry.
I know.
Evidence that I asked for. Anyway, right. So I'll do my thing. I've written some that I prepared. So let me just bring some up. Give me 1 second. And team, if you can start.
Did you say I writ something? Oh, come on, Craig. Speak English.
All right, go ahead.
All right.
Dipshit.
Go on then. Right.
Do we need to hear Craig's rebuttal to all this?
I don't think so, really.
This is
Unless
Flat
anything
Earth
happens.
Debate
in it.
149.
It's Flat Earth Debate 149. Just have a listen to any of the other 149, and it's pretty much the same thing. He uses the same evidence that he always uses, Terry.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Position. What's the next segment that we go to? Fight.
JM has 10 minutes to. JM has 10 minutes to rebut
refute?
refute my specific evidence that I brought up.
Well, if it's on so if it's on refutation, I want to give Jay the option of refuting your evidence first or having him refute his evidence first. What would you like to do, JM?
Wait, do what?
Either you refute me or I refute you.
You would.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll give you the option of what you would like to do.
I can go.
Okay, JM Truth will go first, and he'll be addressing Fight the Flat Earth and only Fight the Flat Earth's evidence in this round. Is that correct, Fight?
Yeah, just the things that I
Just
brought
so I
up
got
in
it.
that presentation.
Okay.
You said the radius
All
of Earth.
Go,
You said the radius of Earth
okay, you're
is 3
starting
miles.
now. You have 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
You said the radius of Earth is 3 miles.
I said it's 3,950 miles approximately.
You're actually off by
That wasn't
4,000 miles.
Miles,
Okay.
not kilometers.
So if you go online,
What?
Okay. I told you he's got radius and diameter confused.
Yeah.
What a fucking numpty.
Is radius the centre to the outside?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
See, even you know
like
it, Terry.
quarter
Yes.
of
And
it.
diameter is twice.
I got something right for a change.
Yes,
Yay!
yeah, well done.
And the reason why I always remember the difference is like circumnavigating the Earth.
Yeah.
Circumference. Yeah.
Not
That's how I remember.
circumcised.
Not circumcised, no. Definitely not, no. Or circumcising the Earth. I hope not.
Well,
Right.
it's all the way around, no matter which way you look at it.
Yeah. Good one, Peter.
and you look up the radius of Earth, it's 7,900 miles.
No, that,
The radius of the Earth is 7,000 miles. Okay.
No,
No.
no, it's not.
He said if you look it up. So where do you look it up? He's not presenting any evidence. He's only just
Know where he's looking.
I don't know where he's looking for that one.
That's kilometers.
Craig's about to correct him.
No,
I mean, I'm pretty sure if I typed in radius of the Earth into Google right now, it would come up with not that. Let's try it.
Not that.
Radius of Earth.
3,963 miles.
6,378.1 kilometres.
Well, there you go.
So and just to confirm, anyone that's dyslexic and types it in and spells it completely wrong, like I just did, it still gives you the correct answer.
So what's it in kilometres, Elmo?
6,371, he said in his not very good impression of Elmo. Like I said before, what this idiot has done is he's listened to Craig say a distance. He's looked at the diameter of Earth and said, "Oh, you're wrong," because Craig has said the radius of Earth is 3,950 miles. That's polar radius, not equatorial radius, because of course they're different. And this idiot's gone, "Nuh-uh, that's not it. It's this instead." And he's looked at the diameter and not the radius. I mean, that's how stupid this guy is.
Is the diameter all the way across?
Yes, diameter is all the way across through the centre.
Yeah.
So it's basically, the radius is half
It's half the diameter.
Yeah. I wish I'd have went to school and learned all that.
Oh, God. I mean, no offence to you, Terry, but I mean, this is the guy that claims to be a scientist, and my 13-year-old daughter knows this stuff.
Yeah.
He doesn't claim to be a scientist. He claims to have a master's of science.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. No, he hasn't physically claimed he is a scientist. He said it on a stream before. He is a scientist.
Times he's a scientist. Yes.
So I will defend him. He is a master. He's a masturbator.
Yeah.
But at least I've got the intellectual honesty to say that I know less than what I know.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. You're not claiming to be a scientist.
No, you don't know less than you know. You know what you know.
Yeah.
But you also know what you don't know.
And you don't know what you don't know.
Shit,
don't debate shit you don't know.
You can't know anything about what you don't know because you don't
how
know
do I
it
know it if I don't know it?
Yeah, but you admit that you don't know it. So you know that you don't know it.
That's true.
A better way would be to say he's aware of what he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm aware that I don't know.
Okay. This could go on for ages.
I'm getting a headache.
Oh dear.
Right here, it's miles, bro.
Oh Lord.
It's 12,000 kilometers and 7,000 miles.
JM, you're looking at the JM, you're looking at the diameter of the Earth, not the radius. Divide that number by 2, and you'll get the number that Fight the Flat Earth said.
Yeah.
You'll see the light
coming.
Shit.
That
Right
moment
now,
when
he's
you
probably
put your
thinking,
hand on
"Fuck,
your
what do I
chin and
do?"
look away and look have another look.
It's damn you, Nathan. You were wrong in your text again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop texting me.
Wish those annotations had a light bulb because you just went bing.
Yeah, but you'd be thinking it's like the light bulbs just come on, but there's still nobody home.
Oh, I can draw a light bulb, but the audience won't see it. Yeah, that's no good.
Yeah.
But Nathan said.
Yeah, exactly. Nathan told me.
Why don't I just Google that again and just double check?
Yeah, that's what he's doing right now, isn't he? He's
It's,
going to check. I'm going to check that.
3,946 at the polar is the polar radius. Then 3,970 something, I think, is the equatorial radius.
Yeah, but is he Googling a flat Earth calculator?
The diameter. Okay. All right. Actually, I stand corrected. It is 7,000. Well, okay. That's what threw me, I guess, because I know that when I went to Iraq, it was over 7,000 miles. And it's almost exactly opposite us where we were at in Washington State. So
opposite? You mean like opposite as in on the globe?
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay.
What? What? You mean like as in opposite as on the globe? Yeah. Okay.
He's just admitted there's a globe. He's just admitted it there and then.
Okay.
Oh dear me.
Yeah, don't make us choke.
God. Oh.
Okay, that's one.
So
this is just comedy gold. It's really.
so basically, first of all, again, Bob, you keep using Bob as your argument for shit, and Bob did not
Bob who?
by any means.
Which Bob?
Bob did not by any means.
Which Bob?
Boob noodle, I suppose.
No, Bob, as in 15 per
Oh,
hour.
15 degrees per hour.
Oh, noodle doodle.
Super duper noodle doodle.
Oh, okay.
Super doodle doodle, yeah.
He's referring to Bob Nodell's ring laser gyroscope test.
Yeah. We know that.
Yeah,
Say the Earth was spinning. He said the gyroscope detected drift. Now the problem is, and I'm going to blow a hole in your thank you, Bob, forever, because a laser gyro has three axes that it measures. The drift was only measured on one axis.
Axis,
yeah, exactly.
It's only got 4 letters in it. How can you get that wrong?
Well, because the laser gyro is a triangle shape, he's trying to say that it's got 3 points of axis.
No. What he doesn't understand is that a ring laser measures rotation in one axis.
Yeah.
If you need to measure rotation in 3 axes, you need to have 3 ring lasers in your gyroscope, all at 90 degrees to each other.
Right, that's why it didn't sound right to me.
On an aircraft, they have 3 of them in each box, one for each axis.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gyroscope detected drift. Now the problem is, and I'm going to blow a hole in your thank you, Bob, forever, because a laser gyro has 3 axes that it measures. The drift was only measured on one axis. If in fact the Earth was spinning, it would have to be measurable on all 3 axes.
Accesses.
Okay.
So
I don't even.
I would
about.
Wouldn't it be axi?
Yeah, and he's basically lying here because when Bob Boob Noodle did do the measurements, he did actually measure drift on all 3 axes.
Yes.
You just need to go to Sly Sparkane's video on that. He did a really good video on this and analysed what Bob Noodle actually did find. And it was measured on all 3 axes. So he's basically making shit up here.
Yeah.
highly recommend you stop using that drift comment as a.
What if I told you I have video of Bob saying it measures it on 3 axes?
If you don't understand how the laser gyro works, it measures 3 axes, X, Y, and Z.
No, it doesn't.
Well, he doesn't know how it works because it'd be like Elmo just said. It's 3 ring laser gyros measure the 3 axes.
Yeah. And Bob Nodell did measure drift on all 3 axes
with 3 ring laser gyros.
They show that clip later on.
Yeah. Okay.
The drift is only measurable. The drift is only measurable, I believe, on one axis. I've had a long talk. I've got this on film with Bob, actually, and it's only measurable on one axis, which proves the Earth is not spinning, but something is in fact spinning.
What?
I know you're going to bring up the argument in the room with Nathan, right? I already know what you're going to bring up.
This is your 10 minutes. I'm trying not to interrupt, but
well, you insult every flat earther's ability to understand physics, and the basic physics of thermodynamics is that you cannot have a gas pressure. I mean,
is there a flat earther out there that is a physicist?
Don't think so.
I'd be surprised.
So we insult flat earthers because they don't know physics. Because
oh dear,
Okay.
Have you seen what's happening in that gallery?
It's not him. It's not him.
No, I know it's not. It's just funny what he just said.
I take blurry photos and provide no data. Yes, plain truth. I've learnt a lot from you how to take photographs and how not to take them.
Yeah, my mustache is also ridiculous.
I hope the plain truth's been watching Alan's very educational videos on how to take pictures, because it's a great series.
He definitely said thermal dynamics that time. That was just
that's what he's saying all the way through.
Yeah, definitely did. Yeah, and also access as well. That cracks me up. That really does.
And Andrea reckons there's one in England who is in college for physics that is also a flat earther.
Name of college, university. Citations,
and
please.
The plain truth, it's the real me. Yeah, you'd have to prove that.
There's one over here who claims to have a PhD in spectro something or other, but whatever he claims to have it in, you can't actually get a PhD in it. Is it a doctor something or other? Can't remember what he bloody calls himself now. But people research what he claims to have a PhD in, and whatever it is, and I can't remember what the bloody hell it is now. Whatever he claims to have a PhD in, you can't get a PhD in. Apparently.
But it'd be cool. But it's cool for him. It's probably cool for him to go around and tell people I've got a degree in such and such, and it's just made up there.
Yeah. The thing he's claiming isn't made up. It's whether you can actually get that qualification.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to pop into chat. I have to go now. Take some more blurry photos over water with no elevations.
Just make sure you get really, really close to the water so you get as much mess in the image as possible.
And don't forget to use your camera phone, because your images come out better than your camera.
No.
I'd really like to know who that is.
The plain truth. The plain truth. Please go get your meat thermometer and make sure that the water temperature is higher than the air temperature, and that way, when you do that, you're guaranteed to get that nice shimmer of the ether band happening.
And to get close to the water's edge, just go in the water. That you'll get a lot closer that way.
Keep walking.
Float your camera on the top of the water.
Keep walking forward and hold your camera above your head
to get to eye level.
Water levels just at your wrists.
Yeah, keep your camera at eye level, and then take your images from there.
Well, remember that Nikon specifically state you shouldn't use autofocus over large bodies of water. Remember to use autofocus.
Oh, Peter, you make me laugh. You really did.
I'm sorry. No, I'm not.
The doctor I'm thinking of in the UK claims to have a PhD in photospectroscopy. You can't get a PhD in photospectroscopy.
The fact, Craig, that you have done physics and you're denying the second law of thermodynamics is hilarious to me. Because we learned in basic science class, you can't have a gas pressure. We did it with a balloon without having a sealed container. The fact that you think that a vacuum can sit opposite a positive pressure system, and that pressure system does not leave its location to fill the negative space, actually is what defies physics. Gravity doesn't even account for it, bro. So use the word gravity all you want. It does not account for it.
Wait a minute, he's jumped from one to the other now. Talking about the gas pressure, atmospheric pressure, and then he jumps to the bloody gravity.
He's just reading out what Nathan's
messaging him. Scientific lab.
Well, wait a minute, Nathan just
it's positive. I mean, I didn't bring up any of that in my argument. I'm just saying.
From handler.
Yeah, wasn't he supposed to just rebut whatever Craig brought up?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he's having to read what Craig.
If he doesn't read what, if he doesn't read what Nathan says, Nathan won't be his friend anymore.
You keep texting him.
You'll beat him up.
Yeah, you said that flat earthers don't understand the law of thermodynamics.
I mean,
That's
I
what you
think
said.
flat earthers don't understand basic physics, but
Right. Well, and then you made the argument that that we are stupid because we believe that you can't have a pressure next to a negative pressure, a vacuum. Sorry, it's really not a negative pressure system, but just so that somebody doesn't say shit about that. What was one of the other things you said?
well, I gave repeatable measurements.
Oh, the pendulum. It's like talking to archaic scientists. A pendulum does not prove rotation of the Earth.
What's it prove then?
And all pendulums eventually stop swinging. So it just
basically
it's complete
irrelevant fact.
Yeah, what's the part about them stop swinging got to do with it?
Yeah, sure. All pendulums do eventually stop swinging, but that's got absolutely nothing to do with their usefulness in the experiment.
Yeah.
That's got more to do with the perpetual motion machine rather than
yeah.
For the
it's like saying all cars eventually run out of petrol.
would I be wrong or right in saying that the way the pendulum shows how the Earth rotates is equivalent to how a ring laser gyro shows rotation as well?
Not really, because a pendulum is using the Coriolis force to show the rotation of the Earth. Okay, and the Coriolis force only appears on bodies that are rotating, and if you stand within that rotating body and treat it as a non-inertial reference frame, if you treat a non-inertial reference frame as an inertial reference frame, then you get these forces like the Coriolis force and the centrifugal force. Okay, so that's literally what shows that the Earth is rotating. A ring laser gyro, however, will detect absolute rotation very accurately too. Like there's a big ring laser gyro in New Zealand at Christchurch at a university there, one of the biggest in the world and most accurate in the world. And they can measure rotations as small as the width of a human hair at 50 kilometers. So it's pretty amazing. Yeah.
Ridiculousness. And again, you're on a spinning ball. There should be some calculation for the thrust against the body in the opposite direction of gravity.
Thrust.
He's not explaining the rotation there. He thinks there's acceleration, which there isn't. There's no acceleration.
Where's he getting thrust from?
Well, he thinks it's acceleration. I think he's misinterpreting acceleration.
Thrusty bits.
I think Pip's got it. Pip's got it. Yep. He's been listening to Bandy.
Yeah, thrusty bits. Yeah, well, you're right, Terry. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's misinterpreting the word thrust for acceleration.
Again, if I hold a rock, if I tie a rock to a string and I swing it round and round, and I let that string go, that rock flies where? Away from me.
Yeah, but which way?
That's again basic physics.
So why doesn't the moon fly away?
There should be some calculation for what?
For what I refer to as centrifugal force. But you want to say, well, centrifugal force really isn't a real force. So,
but you call it thrust.
Even though I
calculation for centrifugal force, okay.
There should be a calculation against gravity for centrifugal force. Yes.
Okay, right.
It's not.
Sorry, I just wanted to get the note right.
All right. What else? Oh, and as far as a measurement for curve, I think it's funny nobody's brought any evidence. Craig, how long have we been doing this, man? I gave you a laser experiment at 36.5 or 7 miles, bro, at 4 feet off the ground. And your only argument for that was refraction.
I mean, you can.
Which doesn't account.
Oh, sorry.
Which doesn't account for that, by the way.
I
You
mean,
brought no numbers, no scientific notation. You simply threw out a word and said, "Well, refraction covers that experiment, and the experiment is null because I said
to the rebuttal."
Dude, nobody, as far as I know, has ever done a 36.5 mile laser experiment and brought it to bear for an audience. Nobody that I know of. I've done it, and everybody's like looking the other way. Whatever. So, there has been proof and evidence. I've even brought scientific notation from NASA, and that gets pushed off, as that's all just palaver and bullshit. Well, all right, again, this is part of the reason I'm done. I'm kind of done debating because I'm not here to make you believe or disbelieve. Cool. I'm here so that hopefully your audience will grow a brain and go, hey, I need to go.
Just to help you out, my main argument was the fact of all the measurements that we have of the curve. That was kind of the main point of all that.
There is no measurement of curve, Craig.
I mean, I kind of showed
there is none. And you bring up pictures of the Earth from space. I don't know how many fucking people got to do a documentary showing that every picture on the NASA website is fucking bullshit. Like, it's CGI, it's paintings.
Oh yeah, you did it CGI.
Just to help you out, you just said that there is no measurements, but this is one of the measurements. I just wasn't sure what you meant when you said there's no measurements when there's all these measurements.
That's a mathematical equation. That's not a measurement.
Oh.
No,
what?
Measurement.
Okay.
Yes, he did actually say that.
So to measure something, we can't use an equation to measure something.
Yeah, you're not allowed.
Okay.
No, you have to go with a tape measure and count it yourself.
Yeah. Walk along the equator, measure it, just pace it out. There you go.
What did they measure? What did they measure, Craig?
The radius of the Earth?
No, they didn't. They came up with the mathematical equation and threw it out as a measurement. It's not a measurement. Do you understand what a measurement is? You take a laser and you go out and you measure a distance, and if the laser goes 36 miles without being obstructed by a 266-foot wall, that's a measurement.
Oh, is he?
What you're looking at?
Was he aiming at Trump's wall? Was he? Of course, the laser didn't get through. That's silliness.
What, the wall that doesn't exist?
Oh, it must. Didn't Joe just say that he was talking about a big wall in America?
Yeah,
it's the only big wall I know of.
It's just numbers on a page.
No, it's measurements that, when mapped out, form a sphere. Every one of these is measurements, actual, not mathematical equations, just mapped out.
Anybody can do a mathematical equation and make a circle, bro.
No, it's not a mathematical equation. It's measurements that, when mapped out, form a sphere. And the, I mean, I know this is your 10 minutes, but I'm just to help you, because you're not really debunking the point that all of the, all of them from different parts of the Earth, from different periods in time, they all measured, making no assumptions, just using known surveying methods, they all measured the same thing. So that's kind of what you need to debunk. And yet
there's hundreds and hundreds of surveyors who've gone out and measured a flat surface.
Could you tell me one, please?
So, sure. His name is Chris Van Mitri, Bob Nodell, and Robert Scott. I was there. I filmed it.
Bob Nodell isn't the surveyor.
I didn't say Bob Nodell was a surveyor. Chris Van Mitri is a surveyor. Bob Nodell was at the measurement. So was Robert Scott. So was myself, Nathan Thompson. We all went out and measured a flat surface of the Earth.
Using what methods?
Go on to FE Core and you'll find the
land
survey laser.
Yeah. Oh no. Go to a reputable
you won't
source.
find it because they delete everything. Or you have to pay to see all the results.
Yeah.
Yeah, go to a reputable source like FECOR and get the measurements. Okay.
Yeah, a non-biased source.
Equipment. Yeah. I'm not a land surveyor, dude, but he explained it and explains it on video and explains how it works. I mean, a land surveyor is a land surveyor, bro. If anybody, scientist or otherwise, a land surveyor better know how to use this fucking equipment, or when they build buildings, those buildings would fall.
Land surveyors don't build buildings. I mean,
land surveyors survey the land for construction companies. Yes, they do.
They don't build buildings.
Okay, they're the ones that survey the land for construction crews. For construction companies.
Don't build the buildings.
You understand that, yeah?
Yeah, I'm just saying they don't build the buildings.
What's that?
I'm just saying they don't build the buildings.
No. If I said that, that's not what I meant. Come on, that's not what I meant.
Okay, I'm
so,
just looking at the.
That's. I mean, that's pretty.
Okay. Just want to read you one sentence from the surveying thing that they did. The Forster level measurements differ from the standard surveying process. Well, I don't really care if they differ from the standard surveying process. Then it doesn't really matter, does it? That was just.
No, it does. Read on. Just because somebody.
Since we are testing the reference data over an observably non-convex surface, it's making an assumption and then saying they're not going to take into account spherical excess because of that. That's not really how it's done.
Are you a land surveyor?
I know several.
Are you a land surveyor?
I know several, and I've been discussing and studying this quite a lot.
Okay. Chris Van Mitri has been a land surveyor for many, many years. I'm reasonably confident when it comes to being able to survey. He's probably a little more expert. He has a little more expertise than you do.
I'd be skeptical of the only land surveyor in existence that doesn't measure a curve. But
he's not the only land surveyor in existence. What he's saying is, no land surveyor takes into account curve. Go ask any land surveyor on the earth.
Do you know what spherical
Nobody
excess,
takes into account.
Do you know what spherical excess is?
The axis of a sphere?
No.
Spherical
excess, JM, in surveying.
Spherical excess?
Yes, that's something they use in surveying. Spherical excess, something they use in surveying because it's in reference to geoid.
Right. Well, why don't you read that, and maybe you'll understand why he doesn't use it.
Well, maybe I will, and do a video on why he's incredibly
kind
wrong.
Of pathetic, right?
I mean, I'm just showing you other surveyors that disagree with him and all the measurements that we have. So, just saying.
Okay.
Okay. But then, so how long's he got left, team? Team, you there?
Team?
Team fell asleep.
Team's like, fuck it, I'm done with
this. Still connected. Team, you there? Have I muted him or something? No? Oh, well, he's not there.
Don't blame him for falling asleep.
10 minutes done, but was also talking about...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I also talked about the fact that we always do measure rotation. Hey, you there?
So, Craig, is this a discussion, or is it? Because if it's not a discussion, technically you interrupted multiple times. Just pointing that out.
I wanted to help you get back on track of discussing my evidence.
I do have a couple of questions, though, before we move on to the next portion. I do have a couple of questions just for clarification. You said when you spin a rock around your head for the centrifugal force, and let's say you were to snip the line, that the rock would go away from you?
Correct.
That's incorrect.
Are you denying
that? The rock
that?
would continue traveling. I'm 100% denying it. The rock would travel in a straight line.
Away from you?
No. A straight line. If we don't have the string pulling it towards you anymore as it circles your head, It carries a linear velocity, and the moment that you cut it, you no longer have the centripetal force pulling it back towards the center.
Away from you, it doesn't travel in a circle.
Okay.
It travels away from you. When you let it go,
in a straight line.
Look, I don't give a shit if it's in a straight line. The point is, the distance at which the rock is in the string, when I let go of it, if you measure that distance, it's going to be farther away from you than when it was on the string. Right?
Right, because it's traveling in a straight line. But it's not it's not
matter,
going away
line or
from you.
not.
It's traveling along the tangent of the circle, not away from you.
It is not traveling along. Cut the string. It is not traveling on the tangent of the circle. It is no longer traveling there.
Yes, it is.
It is moving in a straight line.
It's always traveling along the tangent of a circle.
Right. Anyway, let's.
It's always traveling along the tangent. That's what the centripetal force is. That's the first thing. And then the second thing I wanted to ask you was, what you said the second law of what? I'm sorry. That
team.
Hang on, can you pause it there a second?
Centripetal force is the opposite force than the centrifugal force. You understand?
So if you don't have a
basically what team is saying, you go please correct me if I'm wrong, is that from your perspective, from where, say if you were spinning that rock you on the string like he's talking about, and you let go and all the rest of it, so from your perspective it would actually follow a curve, right? That's pretty much what team's saying. Is that what he's saying? Can somebody clarify that?
No, what he's saying, JM is sort of implying that that the rock would move away from you in a line along the radius, so straight out from you. Whereas Team is saying, no, it'll move in a straight line along the tangent to the circle. So it'll continue going on in the direction that it was going in the moment you cut the string, which is a straight line that is also a tangent to the circle.
Oh yeah. Okay.
JM is sort of like implying that it won't, that it'll move away from you straight out. I think it's a bit ambiguous what he really means there. So
a little bit.
I don't think it's worth really arguing the point too much.
No, I'm just trying to clarify. But yeah, it's kind of been a bit pedantic, really.
Yeah.
A centripetal force, so if you don't have a centripetal force, you don't have a centrifugal force, right?
What's your point? What is your point?
Okay, so if you take away the centripetal force, you take away the centrifugal force, and the object will not travel away from you.
Rock around my head, and I let it go. That rock is going to travel away from me. I don't care what direction.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. Hold on. Let me ask you a question, JM. Let me ask you a question. Let's say we're going to mark a point in this circle, and we're going to call it the release, okay? And we're going to draw a line from ourselves to that release point, all right? Now we're going to swing this rock around our head. Now the rock is feeling an outward push. This is like a gravitron pushing you up against the wall.
No offense to Team.
I'm just asking you a question, man. I'm just asking you a question.
No, you're not asking
I'm asking
a question.
you a question. Can you not answer my question? You said you're a fucking master of physics. You can't answer this question, dude?
I never said I was a master of physics. I never said that, Team.
Master
and you're
of
lying to your audience.
Right.
You've sat here multiple times and said that you have a good grasp on physics and you should easily be able to answer this question. Easily. I'm not trying to give you a trick question, Jam. I'm just trying to ask you to clarify for the audience something you said. That's it. What are you getting so triggered about?
I'm not. First of all,
why are you getting upset that I'm asking you this question?
Can I present my evidence?
I'm not getting triggered. I'm getting pissed off because you're interrupting now, and you're supposed to be the fucking moderator.
Yeah, Team Skeptic shouldn't be saying anything.
Right.
That's my point.
Can I do my?
I waited between the rounds, and I'm asking you to clarify something you fucking said in your fucking presentation.
I don't know. It's not very structured, this.
As a moderator, I think I'm allowed to do that.
Wait till the section.
You guys were fucking done, you fucking idiot. You were done.
Okay,
you just said it. I just asked you to clarify that. Do you understand that?
I think you paused a second. I think JM's got stumped between. I don't think he knows what centrifugal. The difference between centrifugal and centrifugal force.
Yeah, centripetal too.
Centripetal, yeah. So that's what I meant to say. Centripetal force and centrifugal force. I think he got stumped to know the difference. I don't think he does know the difference. That's why he's stuck and he's getting triggered because he's asked him a question that he can't answer. But still, yeah, I think you're right in what Team's interrupting again, and he shouldn't really be doing that personally. But yeah, there you go.
Call me a fucking idiot.
Shut up.
All right.
Shut up. You're an idiot. Go ahead, fight. You have 10 minutes.
Right.
Yes.
Fight.
Go.
Fight. This is fair to you, bro?
No, I'm trying to bring it
This
back.
is what
He didn't interrupt either, and he was just asking a question, but I want to present my evidence.
I asked you to clarify something, JM, all right? If you need us to call you a wambulance, we will do that, all right?
Right, let's move on. Right, my rebuttal to what you were saying, JM, right? Things that you said, team, would you mind starting a 10-minute timer? Things that you said. You said there's no real pictures of Earth. That's plainly false. There is many real pictures of Earth, JM. I'm sure I've gone through this with you many times back from the night.
From space?
Yes, absolutely. The 1972 Blue Marble. Echo Star 11 was a satellite.
It's been developed already many times, Craig.
It's a real picture that was developed in film, but it's just one of the examples of photos that there are all over the place. Even the 2012 Blue Marble is still a real picture, even though it was put together in Photoshop because it was a merger of many strips because the satellite was closer to the Earth.
Photograph.
But there's many photos from orbit that show the Earth to be real, and they're all backed up by real.
What does JM want? An actual photograph from Instamatic camera taken from outer space and then brought back to Earth and developed in a. Okay.
Who knows?
Strangely enough, there was.
You wouldn't believe it anyway. We'd have to actually go and do it still.
Yeah, apparently the Blue Marble photo that was taken with a Hasselblad camera is CGI, apparently.
Even though it was done on film. Okay.
Exactly.
Time data from Himawari. To constantly say there is no real photos is plainly false when we get real photos all of the time. You can deny what they are and we can debate exactly what they are after I've finished. But the fact is, there is real photos of Earth. They're fucking easy to find. You can find one that was taken less than 10 minutes ago if you go to the Himawari site. EchoStar 11 was a 24-hour live stream of Earth from space that was operated for a long time. These things are easy to find. So you can't say there's no real things when I can literally go, well, there's a 24-hour live.
Well, we know what proof Craig's going to bring, so.
The law is.
Apparently somebody was saying out there that there was an after show in this on Reds.
Yes,
it was.
What? Who was the JM wasn't on the after show though, was he?
No.
I wouldn't have thought so, no.
State what the second law of thermodynamics is.
So
he's got to Google
Craig, move on with your argument, dude.
Right. So the second law of thermodynamics is the total entropy of an isolated system will never decrease over time, right? And is constant if and only if all processes are reversible, right? When you guys say the second law of thermodynamics is gas pressure can't exist next to a vacuum, you all sound like idiots because that's not the second law of thermodynamics. The second law of thermodynamics governs the total entropy of an isolated system, right?
It is the law of entropy, and it is part of the second law of thermodynamics, bro. All high energy systems will flow into low energy systems.
No. Wait. You said gas. You weren't talking about energy. You very specifically said gas, right?
Please tell me you understand the basic idea that gas is a fucking energy.
Yes, JM, I'm getting to the fact that what you're saying is wrong because the second law of thermodynamics doesn't state unequivocally that gas pressure can't exist next to a vacuum without a physical barrier. What it says is that the total entropy of an isolated system can never decrease over time. And the only true isolated system we have is the universe. What that means is on a micro scale, entropy can actually work in the opposite direction, like in your fridge freezer. where within the confines of the fridge freezer, entropy kind of goes backwards. But if we take into account the entropy of the entire room that includes your fridge freezer, the heat increases. Wait, JM, wait. Heat increases. Wait, JM, it's my point. Let me finish my thought. JM, let me finish my thought. The total entropy of the entire room that the fridge freezer is in will actually increase because the heat that is needed to cause the fridge freezing operation to happen is expelled into the room. So no, it does not unequivocally say that gas pressure cannot exist next to a vacuum without a physical barrier. It says
we've proven that scientifically.
But I have demonstrated that ionized gas can exist next to a vacuum without a physical barrier between them. That is easy to demonstrate.
That is not a natural system.
It doesn't matter if it's a natural system.
It does matter.
No,
Science
it doesn't.
Is the study of natural science, bro.
No. That does not mean you can only use natural things in the world to do science, Jay. That is literally not what science is, okay?
In nature
JM,
and called
JM, this is JM. I haven't finished yet, right? But the thing is, when you talk about the second law of thermodynamics, and you make the claim that there's no barrier between the atmosphere and space, you're actually wrong, because there is a barrier. There is a barrier, JM. And that barrier is the energy that is needed to escape the pull of gravity. That is literally a barrier to you leaving Earth. And that is what keeps the atmosphere on Earth. Right?
Oh my God.
And then you said about laser tests, and you guys claim refraction index. Well, unless you can calculate that shit. Well, we can calculate that shit. And that's why when we actually do surveying measurements, well, to be able to calculate, JM, we need data. Then the data we need to be able to calculate that is temperature data points, because refraction is dependent on a gradient of temperature and the light going through it. So yes, we absolutely can calculate these things. We absolutely 100% can calculate these things, but we need the data to be able to calculate it. And whenever we do observations, like in all the surveying things that I was pointing out that have been done throughout time that all measure the radius of Earth to be the same, they all actually were able to calculate the refractive index because they took the data points that were required to do that. So if you do a laser test, you need to take the data points, and then I will calculate the refractive index for you. So when
I'll skip forward. Does anyone watch this all the way through to know if it gets any worse or better?
Well, he rage quits, so that'll be
it's when
fine.
he rage quits, which is about an hour and a half, give or take. It's when Craig basically reveals to him that he knows that all the information that JM Truth used for his supposed debunking of the SpaceX launch and landing was fed to him by negative exponents. And that's when he rage quits. It's about an hour and a half in, I think, is when he actually quits, give or take a bit. So you got a bit to go yet.
Yeah, there's rockets.
Oh yeah, there's the yeah. So if you want to watch it from say there, you know, that would give you a pretty good indication of what happened.
You know, you could be wrong, JM. He's demonstrated how wrong you are, and you're wrong. And now that we've demonstrated how wrong you are, you could just say, yeah, he was right. I got that one wrong. And you would have saved a lot of face instead of taking the chicken shit route and saying, no, there's no possible way that I could ever fucking be wrong because I'm goddamn the master physicist, modified sniper, modified fucking field artillery guy. And how could I ever be wrong with so many goddamn degrees? Yeah, you're fucking wrong, and none of that shit matters.
I mean,
I'm wrong because you said so, team.
Well, I'm playing right now a video.
No,
that has,
you're wrong because you're wrong.
Yeah, I'm playing videos right now that contains SpaceX footage, Red Rhetoric footage, and Astronomy Live's footage, playing directly alongside each other. Anyone can get the raw files and do this themselves. Reds and Astronomy Live are happy to present you with the raw files.
And they will
and it
bang
shows
on.
That there is absolutely no 20-second discrepancy.
Anymore, correct.
I mean, there's no evidence that there ever was a 20-second discrepancy. And can I just ask you directly, did you figure out yourself that there was a 20-second discrepancy?
I don't remember if I did or if somebody pointed it out and I measured it. I don't recall that. I just know I tested it.
That's your fucking problem. Other flat earthers are pointing shit out to you and you go, yeah, that sounds right. Sounds fucking smart.
Team,
So,
Do your own fucking research.
If anyone,
smart guy, that's not. Hold on, Craig. That's not how I operate. I don't fucking take people's word for shit. I test everything that I do. So whether you believe it or not, I don't give a fuck.
He just asked you how you on. He just asked you how you came to that fucking conclusion, and you said, "I don't know if I came to the conclusion or someone pointing it out to me." No, you're fucking wrong. Admit you're wrong and be a fucking big man about it. Stop being a little whiny crybaby.
anyone who wants to see the evidence in the chat.
What I said was, I don't know if somebody pointed it out or whether I found it, but I measured it and it was 20 seconds off.
What did you measure? What did you measure?
As a perennial loser, you'd be used
Shut
to
up,
saying,
team.
"I know I'm wrong by now." Okay.
I have admitted when I was wrong. When been proven to be wrong.
Okay, JM, can I just ask, when did you measure it?
We proved you're wrong.
Do you mind? I'm just asking. When did you actually measure it?
When I measured it.
What did you use to measure it? Like, what videos?
It was quite a while ago. I don't know, Craig. Move on.
Right. Okay.
This doesn't prove it.
You said that Red's footage was bullshit because of the black paint on the booster.
Come up with something other than Red's footage. I'm done talking about Red.
He's got a few questions. At least it's only 3 questions.
Talking about Red.
Okay. All right. Well, I need to do this one thing then. Right. All the things that you said about Red's footage, the 20-second discrepancy, the different places that they landed, the black paint, the sky being different colors. This was all fed to you by someone who you know is Brandon.
No, it wasn't actually. It was not fed to me by anyone, Craig.
So you know the guy is Brandon. We all know him as negative exponents. JM, he is at the moment clipping he recorded the conversations with you, where he was talking it through, and there was actually, you were in the call with him, and you hadn't even downloaded the footage that was sent you, right? And you downloaded it, and he literally said to you, "Oh, look, they landed off, they took off and landed at different places," and you were like, "Oh yeah, how did I never spot that?" And then he told you that the sky was a different color. Then he told you there's a 20-second discrepancy. Then he told you about the black paint. Everything that you brought up against Reds in that debate was fed to you by negative exponents. I have the audio files to prove that. I've listened to them, and he's getting them for me now. I've already listened to them. Why did you lie to me and say that you did it yourself?
Because Brandon fed them to me. But I found them a lot before Brandon ever even fucking
not what you said. Not what you said in the calls to Brandon. Not what you said in the calls.
No, it's not actually.
No, I've listened to it. Do you want to double down, Jen? Because I've got the evidence that you're lying.
Evidence can be fucking manipulated, Craig.
Oh, it's fake. The flat earthers fucking mating group.
Is that how it's going to be? Is that how it's going to be now?
I have actual evidence, Jen, that you have straight up lied to me.
Are you pissy because I've shut down? Really?
No, I'm pissed. I'm not pissy at all. I'm pointing out that you are a liar. You have lied to people about a lot of things. You are everything. I don't know if it's ego or what, right? But you can't help but lie.
It's ego.
You sitting here calling me a liar does not make me a liar.
No, the evidence that I can present does.
Well, no, because if you think
evidence is king.
Know who Brandon, if
you don't know who Brandon is. You had no fucking idea. Don't you now claim that you knew Brandon was fucking negative exponents all along? Because you had fucking no idea. I've listened to those conversations, you lying fucking cunt.
Negative exponents.
Busted, JM.
Not a flat
fucking
earther, is it?
busted. No. You are a liar.
You're a moron, Craig.
No, I am fucking calling you out. You don't know the first thing about physics. I have absolutely destroyed everything you said. I've got measurements you don't. You don't even know what refraction is or how to calculate centrifugal force. You fucking said in this debate that there's no way to calculate centrifugal force. You actually said those words. JM, you said that there's no way to calculate centrifugal force.
That is not what I said.
Yes, it fucking is.
Don't listen.
I wrote it down.
Oh my God. You guys do not fucking listen.
Someone please go back and clip that because he said that.
You twist shit. You guys are the most fucking...
How do you calculate centrifugal force?
You guys have a great night. It was a pleasure.
How do you calculate centrifugal force?
I had my last words and my last say. You've had your fun.
Are you going to run away, JM, before we get to finish? There's so many questions.
JM, don't run. JM, don't run. Don't run. He's asking you a basic question. How do you calculate the acceleration of an object going around in a circle? How do you calculate the acceleration of an object moving around a circle? There's a simple equation.
I have one more thing to do with my time.
No, you don't.
Come on, JM, please. Just guess. Just guess at the answer. Please, just guess. For the laughs, for the lulz, just give us a guess. How do you calculate the acceleration of an object going around a circle?
He's gone.
No, I think that's his I've disconnected face.
That was Nathan Thompson.
Oh, that's his I've disconnected face.
And phoning him to get out of there. Because
what a coward.
They have just shown him up to be the complete and utter liar he is. He swallowed everything that negative exponents fed him. Absolutely.
I'd like to hear that audio file. I really would.
Yeah.
I suspect you will, because when this was done, I mean, there's about another hour of this video yet. They were going through super chats and everything. When they were done, Reds had a hangout, and they all went in there, minus JM, of course, and they had negative exponents in there. And it turns out that by sheer and utter coincidence, this 20-second discrepancy, although it's real, between one Falcon Heavy launch and another Falcon Heavy launch, there is
happened to be 20 seconds.
He just happened to pull 20 seconds out of thin air.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So it's a complete coincidence. But Astronomy Live was in there and he said, do you know what? Had he known that negative exponents was doing all this, because when all this was going on, none of them had a clue what he was doing in the background and that he was setting JM up. He didn't know that he'd pulled this 20 seconds out of his ass, basically. Because once JM made this allegation, Astronomy Live went back and did all of these comparisons and shown this, that, and the other. And yes, between one Falcon Heavy launch and another, because there's only been 2 Falcon Heavy launches in daylight, and between those 2 launches, there is a 20-second difference, but they're 2 separate launches. But it's 20 seconds, and negative exponents just happen to pluck 20 seconds out of the air. Something. But I suspect that Craig will do a video on this with excerpts from all of those sound clips from all of those conversations that negative exponents, or as JM Truth knew and Brandon, fed him. He fed him the whole bloody lot.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Brilliant.
And of course, that's why he had to quit, because A, Craig had just revealed that they'd caught him out in this huge series of lies, and B, you could see that during all that time, JM Truth is on his phone, and it's no doubt Nathan Thompson saying, "Get out now."
Yeah.
Please get out now.
Leave. Yeah.
Leave. Flee. Run.
Because you could hear a phone ringing, and I suspect that was probably JM Truth's phone with Nathan calling him to say, "Get out."
Yeah. Yeah, you could hear a phone ringing.
It's the old JM. You single-handedly are doing more damage than Ranty has ever done. Please get out now.
Who was it? Well, I don't know who it was. Was it Travis or somebody? No, or somebody from Globebusters actually said to Nathan Thompson, you should have actually stepped in during that debate, because he made a fool of himself and everybody in Flat Earth.
Who was Globebusters? That? We don't know.
Globebusters, yeah, somebody Globebusters, yeah.
At some point in that debate, he showed that on the screen where they're basically, they see Nathan Thompson as more reliable than JM Truth. I mean, that just speaks volumes.
It does.
Yeah, because Nathan Thompson is about as far removed from reality I think you can get.
Yeah, well, but JM Truth is just clueless. Not only is he just far away from reality, he really is utterly and totally clueless. Out of all the Flat Earthers,
yes,
he deserves really. If it was possible that he could get DFOTY every single year, he should win it without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt, every single year. He just hasn't got a clue. And what really angers me, what really gets me upset about him, is that he, even though he's clueless, he still makes himself out to be an expert in everything he says and blatantly lies every single time.
I refer the honourable gentleman to the Dunning-Kruger curve.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's that first initial peak where their ignorance reigns supreme, but so does their misplaced arrogance, and they're convinced they're right. When
but there's a peak, but then it drops, doesn't it? You know, that peak sort of goes away. But with him, it doesn't. It just keeps going. It's still going.
All of these idiots are surfing the very peak of that first wave. They're just hanging tough on the top of that curve and staying there. Whereas people who actually learn things, you tend to come down the curve because it comes down very steeply. Then as you learn things, you come back up that curve again.
Yeah.
But they're still on that very initial, they know nothing, they assume they know everything, and everybody else is wrong.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much every flat earther.
Yeah, but he's a classic of all of them. He's absolutely clueless. Totally clueless.
Yeah. But they all feed off each other. They all confirm each other's bias. And then you get idiots come along who just parrot it. No names, no
repeat.
Montreal.
Andrea said it was mentioned that both Dunning and Kruger are still alive, and if someone could get in touch with them and give them the data on geometry.
Yeah, that curve. Then, if you use JM Truth's data, then that curve would be a curve anymore. It'd just be a line continuously upwards. Because he still hasn't reached his peak, I don't think. Still thinks he knows everything and doesn't know anything at the same time.
David Dunning is 70 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's still alive and kicking. Let's have a look. Justin Kruger.
Don't tell me he's dead.
No. There's not much. There's not much of him on his Wikipedia page. It doesn't give any dates or anything. But he says he is an American social psychologist and professor, so you must presume that he's still with us. Otherwise, it would be in the past tense.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, if someone could get them in a live stream, that would be perfect.
Oh, it'd be great if you could actually get them on a live stream, get them to do an analysis on Jay and Truth, wouldn't it?
Here we are. The very brief description is spot on. The Dunning-Kruger effect, a cognitive bias in which people mistakenly assess their cognitive ability as greater than it is. Yep, that covers the whole lot of them.
I think we all do it to a certain extent, but it's just more people, some more than others. Is what I'm trying to say.
Don't think I do. I'm sick of everything.
Well, sometimes I don't think we're aware of it. Sometimes, like I said, to a lesser extent. But like I said, there's some more than others.
It all depends on how honest you are with yourself and life around you.
Arthur says, I think they're a bit busy with Trump just now.
Yeah.
But I have just found a very nice little interpretation of the Dunning-Kruger curve. And right at the very bottom left-hand part of the graph where you start, where confidence is low and wisdom is listed as no nothing, you have a very high curve up to what they call the peak of Mount Stupid. Then you come sliding very fast down the other side to the Valley of Despair, and then you gradually work your way up the slope of enlightenment. And that's when you start learning things.
Yeah.
And then at the end, where your confidence is high and your wisdom is expert, you are on the plateau of sustainability. That's quite a nice one. But yes, the peak of Mount Stupid, I think, was a very good.
So I'd have to learn a lot more than what I know now to even attempt to have the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Well, no, because you see, you've crested that first peak, you've come down the other side, and then you start that very gradual rise up again. And that's when you're actually learning things, because you're learning things and you know that you've got a lot to learn. The problem is when you get to that first peak of Mount Stupid, you assume that you know everything. So your confidence is very high, but your actual wisdom is very low, and that level of ignorance, you're so convinced you're right, but you're not, because you don't know bugger all. But you're so convinced you're right, that tends to go with arrogance, and you see that in all these flat earthers. That ignorance is matched only by their arrogance, that they are right and you are wrong, even though 99% of everybody they talk to says, no, you're wrong. And people who know they've got stuff to learn will say, yeah, actually, you might have a point. I could be wrong. I will go away and look at it again. Whereas this lot are going, no, you're all wrong. The entirety of the human race is wrong, and I am right.
In other words, I'm only wrong when I accept I'm wrong.
And they never accept they're wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Never, ever. I mean, Montreal said the other day, I'll hold my hand up and admit when I'm wrong. And I'm thinking, well, when have you ever done that? But everybody tells him time and time again and demonstrates that he's wrong. That's the
Never
one.
admit it.
There you go. The peak of Mount Stupid.
Guru.
and it is, they get to that peak where they know virtually nothing, but they're so damn certain that they know everything, and that there should be something else on there to sort of mention the arrogance that goes with it. But they know they're right. They're right. You're wrong. You're all stupid. And like everybody else is going, no. Can you not see how wrong you are and how stupid you sound? That must be us. It's us that must be wrong. You know. So it is quite an interesting exercise in psychology, watching and listening to these idiots spout on. You know, it's also quite sad in a way that you think, 3.8 billion years of evolution have produced this.
Certainly.
Thank God they're in the minority, Just go and watch that film where they're all stupid. What the bloody hell is it called?
Dumb and Dumber?
The Adam Sandler film where he wakes up in the future and he's the only intelligent person left on the world.
Idiocracy?
What was that?
No, not
Idiocracy.
No, another
yes,
one.
Idiocracy. Yes, thank you. I knew somebody would remember it. Idiocracy. Watch that film. That's what happens if all this lot end up in charge and populating the world.
Yeah, it wasn't Adam Sandler. I knew that. That's what I said.
It was directed by Mike Judge. Same guy who made King of the Hill and Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Settle down, Beavis.
Did you hear my camera click in there? Sorry.
Got something.
There's a lovely big thrush just sat outside my window there.
I just immediately assumed that B-rate comedy films all have Adam Sandler in them. But it's a good film. It's very funny. Also, quite a scary vision of the future if we're not bloody careful.
Do you think we should move on to a bit of the ancient technologies that we're meant to be doing on Alan's channel?
Well, it's up to you, Terry. It's your stream. You do what you want.
I was enjoying that.
I'm just plucking pheasants.
Yeah, I know.
Metaphorically speaking, of course, because I haven't even tried to pluck a pheasant in I don't know how long. There's a knack to plucking birds, isn't there?
Yeah.
I've plucked a chicken.
I can't be doing dead birds. No.
It's the same. It's the same thing. It's the same.
Same thing. Oh, I'm sure it is. Yeah.
I could never quite get the knack of it. It's one of those things you can either do it or you can't.
And I was assisted in skinning a rabbit, but that's it.
So you throw it in the cage that's got all the rubber balls in it, that spins around very fast, and all the feathers go everywhere. You don't need to worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been watching these like homesteading things on YouTube.
I did watch Catch Two Partridge by Hand.
Can't watch them. OnlyFans account.
we was out on a hare shoot years and years ago when I was a young lad, and I don't think I'd got a shotgun that day. I think I was on catching the half-killed hares duty, and it had rained, so all the fields were really muddy, and the little partridge had got so much mud stuck to their feet that they couldn't take off. I know I managed to run after them and catch two of them by hand. Tell you what, they can still run. I'm not reading that out. Not a chance.
I want Casual to read this.
Swear jar on standby.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you want me to read it, I'm exempt from the swear jar. So you can't even say that. See what I mean? See, told you, it's not going to happen.
Oh dear.
Being very tired doesn't help when you just can't talk properly.
One smart man, he felt smart.
Okay, right. I'll give it a go. Right.
Be prepared for beep 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 beep.
Am I allowed to say it slowly?
No.
You can say it any way you want.
I'm not a pheasant plucker. I'm a pheasant plucker's son, and I'm sitting plucking pheasants until the pheasant plucker comes. My daddy was a pheasant plucker, finest in the land. When it came to plucking pheasants, he was always in demand. I went out shooting pheasants, which he sat and plucked all day. I don't want to end up plucking pheasants till I'm dead. Got to find another way to earn me bread. Birds are flying over most of the day. Got to find a target just to make my way. Tried to be the entertainer, joker, or a clown, but the folks who came to see me, they just had to put me down. Tried to be an undertaker, but I don't like wearing black. There must be another way to earn me whack. Birds laugh flying overhead most of the day. See it, and got to find a target to make my own way again. There you go. That wasn't too bad.
Oh, that was poop.
Yeah, just. You just wanted me to swear all the way through. That's what it was.
No, why would we want that?
I could do
You'll
that
not be getting a
if you want.
cameo in my channel, that's for sure. Your reading's awful. I don't think I've ever heard a tune. I've never heard it sung. It was always just the first couple of verses.
I've never heard it sung ever either.
Yeah, I didn't want to play it. I might get into trouble.
No, don't play it. Well,
Sorry, I missed Casual's attempt because the postman just turned up. How did he do?
Right.
Not too bad actually. Did it all right.
He didn't swear. He didn't swear. He was very.
Yeah, Pete was saying it's shite because it didn't swear.
It just started and the doorbell rang, and it's like.
Oh, sorry.
No.
I'll do it in private just for you, farmers.
No, you're fine. Thank you. But, no, actually, if you're going to do it properly, you need to do it whilst you're eating.
Yeah, or drunk.
Oh God, no, not again.
No, that was the egg experiment. I didn't say that.
We'll wait till New Year's Eve. The race is going. That won't take long.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Oh dear, I can't believe we're in May already. Oh,
No.
That's a calendar I haven't turned over.
Hey, Casual.
Yes, Peter.
Can you read this one?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure on like what's coming next. Is when Peter uses this tone. Hey, Casual. I know something's coming.
Do you know what tone that is? It's the same tone as when you hear Dad.
Yeah, exactly.
And you just go, no. You don't know what the question is. Yeah, but
call on a Sunday night goes.
Here you go. Internal chat for you. I want you to say it 3 times fast.
Oh, the slit sheet one. Oh,
no.
Right, okay. Oh God.
3 times fast. Go.
What's my fellas?
No, the other one, the sheet one.
Oh, the first one, the slit sheet. Oh, hang on a minute. I slit the sheet. No, you sheet the slit, and on the slitted sheet, I sit. One
Sorry,
smart
Terry.
fellow, he felt smart. 2 smart fellows, they felt smart. 3 smart, fellows, they smelt. They smelt.
There it is. Let it go. Just let it go.
Let it go.
Yeah, I stopped myself before I actually said it, but yeah, I know what you mean.
You were damn close.
That would quite a good idea to get a load of.
They all smell fart.
And upload them. Ideas.
We're giving people.
Give them the ideas. Yeah, you'll get a cameo.
I've got a fig plucker one too.
Fig plucker. Oh God, yeah. In fact, that's the fig plucker one. I think is even harder. I've seen it.
But not a pack of figs.
We're heading into very dangerous territory now, I think.
Right, yeah, it's getting dangerous. I want somebody else to have a go at it, then. Maybe Pip. She's the expert reader.
I'm making coffee. You can do what you want for a minute.
I see.
Gosh, no, that wasn't an open invitation.
Yes, it was.
Oh dear.
Hang on. It's all right. I'll behave slightly. I'll just put it on the internal chat.
Peter, you can't behave at all. Don't
someone can read it out.
Not a punk.
Oh, I'm definitely keeping that one.
Square cut punk.
Dangerous, that what it says.
Cut
No,
square,
I'm not saying that.
Cut punk.
Keeping that one.
Rubber baby buggy bumper.
You just know I'm going to do that one wrong. There's just that's not happening.
Oh, you notice I'm not even trying. I'm just
exactly. No, best not.
Shut. Yeah, I'm not doing all that in one hit. Rubber baby buggy bumpers. Oh dear. Yeah, that's just an invitation for.
Yeah, I was going to say demonetization, but he's not monetized. But if he was, then he certainly would be.
You can go for the slightly easier one. Notice I said only slightly.
Yeah, well, my mouth's not connected to my brain today, so it's not going to happen.
Today?
What about that one?
What, a fig plucker?
Yeah.
The fig plucker comes. The fig plucker. Till the fig plucker comes.
I'm not the fig plucker, nor the fig plucker's son, but I'll pluck figs till the fig plucker comes. And I'm not saying it any faster.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't either.
No.
Okay.
It could insinuate. It could insinuate.
Peter, do you want somebody to read all that out?
No, Terry. Well, it's all right. We've had a go. We've read them slowly.
Slowly, carefully.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Your fun's over. You want a bit more time?
I think
no, you can be all serious if you want, or as serious as it gets anyway.
No, a bit of fun to break the monotony.
Peter's already tried to kill me earlier on. It almost worked. It was the I just had this image of Travis with his meat thermometer.
Meat thermometer.
Going to the lake and dipping it in. I don't know why. I find that so funny. I just lost it at that point.
Well, it's because that's what Riley originally used in his lunar freezing cold lunar experiments. He used 2 meat thermometers. So
We know who that was, by the way. Anybody have a clue?
Elmo wants you to say, "I'd rather be slow than half fast."
You've just got to be clear in your pronunciation of half fast.
Isn't that what I said?
It just come out as half-assed.
I'd rather be slow than half fast.
Yeah.
I'd rather be slow than half fast.
Yes, make sure you enunciate that F really well.
I'd rather be slow than half fast.
I'd rather be slow than half fast. Yeah.
Half fast.
He just wants you to say half-assed.
Oh, say half-assed anytime.
Exactly.
What's wrong with being half-assed?
I have screen grabbed these, and you might all be getting one to read out, so I can.
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
One attempt.
It's all right. I can't read very quick.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
No, mate.
Yes, poor old Riley. I mean, it's like when he did his infamous egg experiment. What did he use to measure the density of the water? Did he use a hydrometer? No. Don't use the tool that was actually developed to do what you want. Use something else completely different.
And let's be honest there for 5 seconds. If he was to buy even, I won't use the word cheap, but you know, a one from the pound store, you can get hydrometers somewhat fairly inexpensively, and they're still quite accurate.
You can still get them quite readily over here because home brewing is still a thing, and that's an essential bit of kit when you're doing home brewing is to test the, dare I say it, specific gravity of the brew you're making. Is to use a hydrometer. I mean, I know my mum used to have a hydrometer because she used to make elderberry wine and sloe gin and all sorts of stuff at one point, because that was all grown alongside our fields, you know. And that was always our job as the kids, was to go out and pick it all so mother could make some alcohol.
Well, I know when the old man used to make ginger beer, he'd make two batches. One was for us kids and one was not for us kids.
Yeah, my mother-in-law used to do that, put whiskey in the other one.
Yeah, one had damn sight more oomph behind it than the other. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And you could tell dads if you didn't get to it in time, because the bottles would sometimes quite spontaneously just disappear into
evaporate.
They just kind of blow up. Yeah, the bottles would go everywhere.
But it was interesting because whoever gave Riley that idea, because he didn't think of it himself, the little widget he used would only work if he put salt in the water.
Yeah.
If he'd used something else like sugar, it wouldn't have worked, would it? I'm trying to remember the name of that bit of kit he had.
It's a parts per million meter.
Yeah, but there is a name for it, isn't there? But but it works due to resistance, doesn't it?
That's correct. Yeah,
that only worked because of the salt he put in the water. So somebody fed him that idea, because I don't think he's got the necessary knowledge to work that out himself. Because if he'd done any research at all, he would have known that to check the density of the water as he was playing about with the salt, he'd need a hydrometer. But he specifically didn't have a hydrometer. So yeah, I don't know. I suspect that was all fed to him from somebody else. But who knows with that character?
Do you have some videos, Terry?
No.
Okay.
Not for later. We'll shield people's videos later. But for the ancient technology, I wanted to start touching on ancient carpentry and woodworking skills. I didn't know what videos to get because it would have been hard to find something. Going to be very basic. This is. I've just Wikipedia'd the history. There was carpenters in Ming, China. That's where I was going to start working out, is if China was the birthplace of people learning to do carpentry as such in comparison to Europe or anywhere. We can go back to the 1560s, back in the Ming Dynasty, roughly in the 1560s. But we can go a bit before that. Oh, I don't know. The history, I'll just share this, what I've got. I'm going to go to some images, and I was going to see if there was any videos, Creative Commons videos to do with ancient technology in the carpentry. I can't do that at the same time as I'm doing this though. So in history, wood is one of mankind's oldest building materials. The ability to shape wood improved with technology advances from the Stone Age to the Bronze Age to the Iron Age. Some of the oldest archaeological evidence of carpentry are water well casings. These include an oak and hazel structure dating from 5256 BC, found in Ostrov, Czech Republic, and one built using split oak timbers with mortise and tenon and notched corners, excavated in eastern Germany, dating from 7,000 years ago in the early Neolithic period. So even back then, from the tools that were invented, the sharpened axes and whatever they could have, had to have been strong enough to do and the fine work to do carpentry. So I suppose as the tools develop, the better the carpentry.
Yeah, makes sense.
Relatively little information about carpentry is available from prehistory, before written language, or even recent centuries, because the knowledge and skills were passed down to person, rarely in writing until the printing press was invented in the 15th century, and builders began regularly publishing guides and pattern books in the 18th and 19th centuries. The oldest surviving complete architectural text is Vitruvius.
Vitruvius.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's the bloke.
Vitruvius is 10 books. Just saying.
There you go. Commonly known as Vitruvius, was a Roman author, architect, civil engineer, military engineer during the 1st century BC, known for his multi-volume work entitled De Architectura. His discussion of perfect proportion in architecture and the human body led to the Roman. Get back. Would be the famous Renaissance. I don't know if that's meant to finish off after that. Some of the oldest surviving wooden buildings in the world are the temples in China, such as the Nanshan Temple, built in 782. The Greenstead Church, parts of which are from the 11th century. That one. Small village in Greenstead near Chipping Ongar in Essex. Oh. Ah. That. There we go. Oh. Not that. I just wanted that. Greenstead Church is a small village of Greenstead near Chipping Ongar in Essex, England. Is the oldest wooden church in the world, and probably the oldest wooden building in Europe still standing, albeit only in part, since few sections of its original wooden structure remain. That one. And then we can go to China, but then we can also Terry should cover. Well, I'm reading. People send text messages, and now I've got to read them. Terry should cover the 10 technologies we will need in the post-apocalypse. Okay. Right. Now I did have. Oh, the images. Yeah, go to the images one. I think that Chinese one, the dynasty. Yeah, that might be better. Carpentry one. The Ming China. By the beginning of the Ming dynasty, Emperor Taizhou categorized people into different occupations. At this time, all the carpenters throughout the state were registered by the imperial court, and the occupation remained strictly hereditary, according to the notes from historian Klaus Rutenbeek. In later times of the Ming dynasty, roughly in the 1560s. However, people broke such restrictions and the path into occupation in the case of carpentry became less fixed, although the restriction regarding the path into the occupation dissolves in later times of the Ming Dynasty, approximately starting from 1450s. The Liu Banzhong was named after the Chinese patriarch of carpentry, Liu Ban. Liu Ban lived in the I can't read Chinese. Zhou Dynasty, something. 2,500 years from modern day and nearly 2,000 years from the beginning of the Ming Dynasty. Although Lun Bang Jing was entitled as the classic of Lun Ban, it was compiled during the Ming Dynasty. One interesting fact about the Liu Ban Jing is that it included a detailed biography of Liu Ban and his wife, Lady Yun. According to the biography, Lady Yun was blessed with heavenly skills, and she could produce products with higher quality than those produced by Lun Ban. I hate reading. Who else likes reading?
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll do a bit of reading
Read
for
that.
you.
Yeah, if someone can read that bit. If
I could.
Yeah, Maltev hasn't
yeah.
done any reading, Farmer.
Wow, go for it then.
So, which part do you want to start with? Being a carpenter?
Yeah, read being the carpenter in that paragraph.
And skip out the foreign bit at the bottom.
Don't
being a carpenter. Okay, being a carpenter requires a set of techniques, especially for the household carpenters. From the first to the last day of the construction, sometimes even long before the beginning of construction, carpenters must treat their work with a lot of care. With their meticulousness and perseverance, their products were so sophisticated and it appeals to the untrained peoples as impossible. Moreover, in Ming times, people believed that certain behaviors bring good or bad fortunes, and the carpenters were responsible for helping their customer make decisions. Questions like when to build the house and which direction should the house face toward were among some of the most frequently asked. As a result, the techniques were both practical and metaphysical, including accurate calculation, using proper tools, avoiding ominous actions, singing for good fortunes, and choosing ideal locations for houses. Interestingly, the carpenters in China will sing prayer songs for their customer to pray for good fortune. The good fortunes involve a series of good things, including wealth, reputation, social ranking, and the sustainability of families. Historian Ronald Knapp recorded one of them in his book, China's Living Houses. The phoenix is not light where there are no treasures. Today it perches at the end of the ridgepole. With one swing of my axe, the house will be solid forever. 10,000 years solid, then 10,000 years prosperous, riches, and position, a number one family.
Yeah, China took things to different levels with their way of life. Even when we looked at the invention of the compass, so to speak, with the that was more to do with the feng shui and in that context, but it got developed into a normal compass as we know today. So, and I know that in China, is it China that they build their ridge caps on the roof to point up and not down? So something I don't know. I'd have to read into that a bit more for the reason for that. But
yeah, feng shui's a funny old thing.
Yeah. Who's next?
Hang on, if I just take the swig, I'll do the next bit.
Take your helmet off.
No, I'm not wearing my helmet. It's far too warm for that nonsense, blimey. Right then, where are we?
The carpenters in Ming China.
Yeah. The carpenters in Ming China, and particularly the first century of Ming China, experienced the division of labour process. Rutenbeek emphasises that the carpenters were divided into two categories, the resident artisans and the shift artisans. The resident artisans, according to Rutenbeek, definitely a foreign name that, lived in the capital of Ming China, which was first Nanjing and then Beijing, because of the forced immigration launched by Ming Taozu. They were required to do 10 days for each month in the imperial palace. According to the difference of their household register, These resident artisans were further categorized as military carpenters and civil carpenters. The military carpenters belonged to the Division of Defence and were required to produce the military armed forces like bows and cannon supports. The civil carpenters belonged to the Board of Work. The shift artisans, on the other hand, did not need to reside in capital regions, but they were required to complete service on behalf of the Board of Work. Meanwhile, carpenters in Ming China also avoided intrinsic competitions by establishing guilds. Guilds were long-lasting in pre-modern China, and by the late Ming times, it developed into institutions with complete regulations seek to minimize intrinsic competitions. Breitenbeek provides a framework for the guilds of carpentry in Ming times. There was a system of apprentice, journeyman. Something's not right.
I don't know. Something's not right there.
Yeah. So,
what happened there?
Not quite sure. Welfare was an important task of the guilds. It ensured, for example, a decent burial for its poorer members. Right. So I suppose the guilds were a bit like the unions that we sort of have today to a certain degree.
If it wasn't, but it wasn't sort of like a cult thing, like the Masons, so to speak, with the guilds that way.
No, everybody had a guild. Weavers had a guild. Everybody had a guild.
Yeah.
I read too many stupid books.
What, the Guild of Assassins?
Yeah.
And the Guild of Seamstresses, which were, of course, not seamstresses at all, but more ladies of negotiable affection.
Ladies of the evening.
Yes. I still prefer negotiable affection myself. I think that's got a bit of a ring to it.
I do read a lot of fantasy books, so they've always get guilds.
Yeah. Right, let's do this bit as well then. Speaking of the codes among the carpenters in the Ming Dynasty, it includes a set of rituals or taboos generated by people within the occupation. In the case of carpenter, the Lu Bang Jing regulates carpenter's behavior as it provides a thorough, from cradle to tomb style of guidelines for the carpenters, basically how you live your life, I guess. The Lu Bang Jing also sets the rituals for the carpenters when they were given magic spells. Okay, who mentioned Mason?
Yay!
Those magical spells, according to Lu Bang Jing, requires a complicated process of preparing the materials and praying for its effectiveness. For instance, carpenters can deliver a curse that forces people to die in a river or in water wells. Such curse needs a wooden boat, and the carpenters have to turn the boats upside and bury the wooden boat at the northern corner of the house. The mythical traditions for carpenters to deliver blessings and curses are various, and such mysterious rituals negatively influence people's impression of carpenters in Ming times. I'm not surprised. You're a carpenter. Oh, don't curse me.
Yeah.
Who put that boat there?
Yeah. Yeah, but whoever wrote this, their English is slightly adrift.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
Probably a Chinese person.
No,
I think it's just that. I think it's just somebody that typed it because there was a bit of a grammar.
Oh yeah, journeyman. A journeyman.
Yeah. Journeyman and tur. What? Yeah, it does a bit. Oh right, we'll skip to Europe now, have we?
Yeah, I might be able to read.
Yeah, go for it.
I'll try. My eyes are probably watered by the end of the first paragraph. By the 16th century, sawmills were coming into use in Europe. The founding of America was partly based on a desire to extract resources from the new continent, including wood for use in ships and buildings in Europe. In the 18th century, part of the Industrial Revolution was the invention of the steam engine and cut nails. These technologies, combined with the invention of the circular saw, led to the development of balloon framing, which was the beginning of a decline of the traditional timber framing. The 19th century saw the development of electrical engineering and distribution, which allowed the development of handheld power tools, wire nails, and machines to mass-produce screws. In the 20th century, portland cement came into common use, and concrete foundations allowed carpenters to do away with heavy timbers, sills, also drywall, plasterboard, came into common use replacing lime plaster on wooden lath. Plywood, engineering lumber, and chemically treated lumber also came into use. I think that's getting into a bit more modern now. I think we want to stick back to, because there's the carpentry side of it I wanted to look at was before the Industrial Revolution, obviously. Before
it's
that.
Strange how a lot of this has come full circle, because we're now using timber an awful lot again in construction. Certainly over here in the UK, if you've got a large open area with an open roof over the top of it, they like using what's called glulam beams, and they're basically laminated timber beams. And certainly now there's also one of the companies I did some contract work for. They were doing these big like sheltered housing and retirement flats, blocks of flats for retired people. And they tend the top floors, the top floor and the roof was all timber. There's an awful lot of timber construction being done again in the UK. So we've gone full circle. You know, the timber got used a lot. Then they developed how they did timber construction. Then we just did away with it completely. At some point, everything went to brick, and that seems to be coming back to using a lot of timber again, as opposed to steel. I don't know whether it's just seen as a greener option.
See, back in the days of when they did do carpentry, if I can get that to be a bit bigger, a lot of these tools were mainly used for cutting raw logs. The flat ones here, that they were mainly for stripping the bark off the outside, and also leveling off to square your edges up. I don't think they're not showing the other tool in this one, but that's what those ones did. I can find. I'm going by knowledge, not by reading. Some of this I know a little bit about. I can just find the right stuff though. That's the half the problem here.
I've seen them using some of that stuff down at Portsmouth when they're remaking some of the stuff on the HMS Victory.
Yeah, I was hoping to find some ship.
They tried to do it using the old-fashioned tools and the old-fashioned skills.
That's what I was hoping to find, some sort of video or... No, we're not going to get either the old shipbuilding rights, the way they did ships, even the carpentry involved in that, putting together buildings. Like back in the day when America got called it over in America, the first people that landed there, the ones that used to build when they built their houses, like it'd take 30 or 30, 50, probably even 100 people, and they'd build a house, but all with traditional methods.
Yeah, well, I think the Americans still use that an awful lot over there. I think a lot of their houses still tend to be timber construction, modern methods and whatnot. But I think I think an awful lot of them still tend to use timber. Whereas, of course, over here we do everything with brick.
A lot of random stuff.
Cool.
7 Japanese woodworking techniques. That's just all timber.
Yeah.
The size of it.
Yeah.
Well, there's the person there for scale, so that helps.
Yeah, I mean that's entire trees that have just sort of been pretty much plain smooth and used as beams, haven't they?
Yeah.
And they're huge, some of them.
A lot of joinery involved in their work. I don't even know.
The Japanese had different types of The Japanese had different types of carpenters too. They had people that built temples. They had people that built tea houses. They had carpenters that built furniture, and carpenters that built houses.
Yeah, well, I suppose you'd specialise in sort of one aspect, wouldn't you? If everybody's making everything out of timber, then yeah, you have specialists who do each individual. Yeah, I suppose just like we do today in the construction industry, you have your own personal speciality, don't you?
Knocking something into there, but I can see they've got a joint there, but I can't see the other. What else they're doing? That one width
Well,
of
he
wood,
could be
or is
putting
that
that in place for another part, couldn't he? You know, there could be something else that's going to go on there. I'm not sure.
Well, I can see they've got the joint for it there. I don't know what he's doing there. He's hammering something into that one. I've got no reference for that one. Go back. Go back. Go back.
Yeah, John Rapp, when I was about 8 years old, I discovered Isaac Asimov's Foundation trilogy on the bookshelf at home. That was me hooked. Ah, that's very clever. Yes, you can see all the bits are sliding through, and then those wooden pins will hold it all in place.
Wax that in to make it push in. Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
That's a perfect joint, that is. Wow, you can hardly even see it. Well, that's using modern tools, but they're not showing any. I don't want to play any videos there, I'll get into trouble.
No.
Alan said, I can play videos, but we have to be 100% sure they're safe-ish.
Yeah, well, you don't want to get his channel struck for 3 months as well, do you?
No.
You run out of channels.
So precise in there. I like Japanese carpentry.
Oh, yes, that's why he was driving that pin in the middle. We couldn't see that bit.
Yeah, I couldn't see that one.
Yeah.
That was the one
it makes more sense. Now you see that, it makes a bit more sense.
You're seeing it full screen, I'm only seeing it. But I can see where they put that in there to go there.
Yeah. Yeah, that first initial photo of him just hammering it in didn't make a lot of sense, did it? But you couldn't see that you've got it's split sort of half and half down the length of it as well, isn't it? Oh yeah, I can see what they're doing there. Yeah.
Yeah, they placed it in there first.
Yeah.
And then they wedged it forward.
That's it. That pin he was driving in wedges the whole thing
went
tight.
in up here to push it forward this way.
Yeah. Just that initial view there, that top left view.
That's the best one.
Yeah, that's the best one. That first one we looked at, it didn't make a whole lot of sense, but that one, yeah.
Find something else.
But IKEA do the equivalent these days. Because you have a post in one end, and then you have a big circular hole that circular fitting goes in, and as you tighten it with a screwdriver, it yanks on the pin and pulls everything tight. So it's a similar sort of idea, but of course you're not doing it all with timber pieces. And of course IKEA isn't timber; it's all fiberboard and plywood and.
I think we can name all those tools there.
That's a cutty. That's a cutty thing.
Well, most thing. I mean, I could name them all, but I don't know about everyone else.
I don't do carpentry.
Okay.
We need Big Blue.
Well, you don't need Big Blue. I can tell you what all that stuff is.
No, but this is right up Blue Street, isn't it? If his workshop's anything to go by.
Yeah, I do carpentry too.
Yeah, I don't. Bang some more nails in it, it'll be fine.
The only thing I haven't got is a thicknesser and a jointer. I've got a table saw, I've got routers, planers, all that sort of stuff. It was not a waste of wood, but in the like back in the day when they built log cabins, even they had to be precisely put together, fit as a log cabin.
Yeah. Yeah, I've watched some of those programs where they're sort of building out in the wilderness in Alaska and that, and they're all these timber constructions they're putting up, and when they get it wrong, oh boy, it really is a case of measure twice, cut once.
There's another example of what we were just looking at before, how they joining the two timbers together, and then put the wedge in the middle there, and that'll just be one piece of wood.
That's it.
And it'll be strong enough too. Yeah, we get the whole book, The Genius of Japanese Carpentry. Few tools there.
Blimey.
Well, that's how we drilled a hole, that's right. Similar to like lighting a fire.
Yes. Yeah.
You held a rock or whatever on there, pushed down on the Dremel, and then use the bow to spin it back and forward to drill a hole.
Yeah.
A thicknesser, Stewie, is you could say it's a planer, but it's a thicknesser.
Thicknesser.
Oh, that's complicated.
Sure. No.
All that just to get that four-way joint. And a couple little shims to wedge it in there.
Yeah. I mean, very effective, I'm sure, but how long would it take you to carve that out if you're doing it for hand?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Sure, I had to see a little video of somebody doing a bit of work like that. While you're talking amongst yourselves, what I'll do is go to the videos and see if we can find anything.
Find something that's safe.
Safe, yeah.
Yeah.
Have a look. I'll have a look around in the Google YouTubes and I'll see if I can find a video. A video.
Yeah, I never really got into fantasy books. I've read a few classics, but really the only fantasy I do are the Terry Pratchett ones, and of course they're all very tongue-in-cheek.
Shame I can't show you my carpentry stuff. I'd have to wait till I get the camera going, and then I can do some stuff for that.
Get out in the workshop.
Yeah. Well, at the moment I'm doing car stuff and lawnmower stuff, so everything's the work table's covering up the Triton. I take the wood off that, and then I've got the Triton all set up, and I've got all the a router attachment that goes to it. I've got the router for it. Everything. The Triton can be used in multiple ways. I can use it like a table saw, an underneath table saw to cross cut, or use the top of the table saw.
I ain't got room for any of that stuff anyway.
Yeah, well, I've only got a little garage.
Yeah, well, this place they built, they turned the back sort of quarter of the garage into like it's almost like a little mezzanine area. You step down from the kitchen into this area, where they've built a downstairs loo and there's an upright freezer and a bit of storage space. And then you step down from that again via a sliding door into the garage. But so even if I emptied it, I don't think it's long enough for my car to fit in there. And it's probably not wide enough for me to be able to open the bloody door and get out anyway. Because garages are still the same size they've always been. Of course, cars have got bigger and bigger and bigger. But with a bench and shelving and 2 motorbikes, there ain't a lot of room left anyway.
That's the only picture I've got inside the garage. Like the car.
What kind of car is that?
Holden. I know that was back when I was first learning how to use the camera, the phone camera, and I'm going, oh, that's blurry. Why does it come out blurry? Oh, you got to hold it really still.
It does help, yeah.
Yeah. So where you're standing there, there's still another 3. What would that be? Another 3 and a bit more meters behind you. The garage is 9 meters long that way and 4.5. I think it's about 4.5 wide. But my old garage that I had before I moved here was 5 meters wide and 6 meters long. I need the width, not so much the length. I'd like a bit more width.
Hmm.
That's a bit of a Triton thing there that I left there one time.
No, I had a workshop about that size back on the home farm, but I ain't got anything like that now.
Plus I got the carport outside of it too, so that helps.
Oh, I've got a drive. That's it.
You going to come in here, Sean, or are you going to bag us out in the peanut gallery? No, I haven't worked on a deck yet, Sean. I do have a deck to do, if you could call it a deck. I got sidetracked then, didn't I?
You did.
Well, we're talking about carpentry, so...
Yeah, no, that's cool.
It's still sort of. I'm just looking for a video to generalise this carpentry.
Well, that's my next book to read that turned up in the post.
There?
Yes. German Tanks and Vehicles in Italy, 1943 to 45. There you go. Lots and lots and lots of photos of German tanks, most of them very poorly. Another one for the collection. I did actually do a tot up the other day. I think I'm getting up to 300 books on tanks. Just tanks. That's not everything else.
Don't think. Better photo. That's other type of carpentry that I've done. Well, this is on the car, so you can imagine say it's carpentry. These are kick panels that I've done for the wagon. The speakers had to go bolt onto it.
Yep.
A bit of MDF type product, and I use circular spacings that you can buy, which was easier to have them bought, and I glued them on to the outside, and then I glued carpet over it to raise the speaker, and it raised the speaker up as well. So that was
yeah. I've seen that sort of thing in the motoring magazines and that, but I've never had to do that sort of modification then in my own cars. You know, I mean, I don't even bother changing stereos anymore. Just make do with what's there. But yeah, it's ironic that the worst place acoustically to listen to music is in your car. And the best way to listen to music is through headphones.
Maybe that'll be better. Oh, that's the one where it's in the car. I was checking for clearance for the accelerator pedal. I might have to redo it.
Oh, I can see how that might be getting
Yeah.
a little bit close, but as long as it doesn't hit it.
Oh, wrong thing. I shared the wrong window. Oh.
Yeah, I suppose with your hoof on the pedal, you're getting quite close to the speaker, aren't you?
I lost the. I got no idea what's happened, dear. I can't share anything.
No.
Yeah,
I've been having that trouble lately in certainly in Google Meets. When I go to share something, Google Chrome just shuts down completely.
Yeah, I'm not even getting the capture. Yeah. Yeah, gone black on YouTube, Fondle. Yeah, I know. I was just noticing that myself.
Dude.
What happened there?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh no.
And of course, it's not your stream, is it?
Zoom's back on.
YouTube. Yeah, I put the zoom back up. But if I go to YouTube, black screen. All black screens. That one. Full screen. Don't want to have the full screen. Just lost my YouTube screens. Those two. Oh, that's not going to help. Sorry, no video now, till I can sort that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the screens for me full screen, the scene. The media one's working, Zoom's working. But I've lost the... That is weird. That hasn't happened. I got no idea how to fix that. I have to reset something. Something's glitched in OBS, I'd say. Not working. YouTube's not showing up. I don't know how to fix it on the fly. Do you need to restart your channel? Restart your Chrome, maybe? Yeah, I might have to restart Chrome. Try that. Yeah, I'll restart Chrome and I'll see if I can... see if it'll all come back. Anything? Don't ask me what happened.
I don't know.
Alan. That's Alan's channel. Alan. Have Zoom. No, that didn't fix it.
Oh dear.
I restarted Chrome and it didn't fix it. not know what's going on here. Oh, not helpful.
I'm gonna have to go, Terry. I'm starting to get into a bit of pain. So.
Okay, Peter.
Time to go cuddle a hot water bottle and stuff.
Fair enough.
I shall catch you all later on. Thank you very much for the evening.
Yeah.
Night,
I know
Peter. Take care.
we haven't got to the good stuff yet.
Oh well, I'll watch it on me tablet when
Yeah,
I'm
well,
in
we
bed.
might have to finish up if I can't get the stream, the YouTube's to work in OBS again.
I'm sure you'll get it going again.
No, I don't know.
You always seem to manage it.
I've got no idea. I don't want to go fiddling with what I don't know.
All right. Well, good luck.
Okay, Peter. I'll either stop the stream or I'll figure it out. One of the two.
Yep. All right.
Oh dear. Got no idea how to. Everything's still working.
Something wrong?
Yeah, my scene for the display capture for the whole screen's working. I've got put away there. So I need to use the whole screen. I've got a window capture and a YouTube capture that's not scene 2 that I use. That's not working either. Bugger. We can all move to a new stream, Terry. No, that wouldn't help. I'd have to fiddle around with OBS and check to see what's happened in there, but I don't want to fiddle with it while I'm might ruin everything. Got no idea how to check it. Go to saying everything's all right. Got no way of resetting it. No, I got no way of fixing it.
So does that mean the stream ends?
Well, I can't show a video or anything. The Hangout can still go, but like we can still be
Fair
live
enough.
here for the Hangout, but I can't do
good.
I can't do any more sharing for some reason. Something broke. Okay.
That sucks.
Yep. My YouTube and Chrome windows won't open up.
I don't know enough about OBS to help, I'm afraid. I'm just learning.
Yeah, well, I can do the full screen, but that's no good to me. I don't want to do that.
You can't capture another scene or something?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Rumi can't do that because only Terry's got the sound. You wouldn't hear it.
Yeah, no one else can do it unless they've got a banana going. If you haven't got a banana, you can't do it.
That's me bucket then.
I don't know what's going on, Dartman. I can't figure out what's going on with OBS. It's not capturing window for the source. For some reason. And I don't want to do another one.
Eden says the YouTube video showing full screen.
Yeah, if I use that, that's where's my full screen version? That's my full screen. If I did full screen, everyone will be able to see a full screen. Yeah, if I showed full screen, you'd be able to see all full screen. If I did that, then make that full screen, everything would be full screen. But it doesn't.
Where's the YouTube usually playing in the bottom left?
Yeah, usually I have it playing down in the lower corner in the Chrome section. But there's nothing showing up in that section. Bugger. Yeah, technical issue. Now the Zoom one still captures. The YouTube Chrome windows are not capturing. I can't see what I did that could have changed it.
So that indicates that's an issue with your YouTube capture scene.
That's what I'm thinking. It's only it's two scenes. Two scenes I usually use for YouTube. I don't want to start another. Don't know what you're supposed to play capture, game capture, image, media source. Yeah, media sources. I've got no idea which one of these you're supposed to use for a source. Got no idea. You got browser. No, that's not the right one. Get rid of that.
Eden says, have you inadvertently turned the visibility of one of the layers on or off?
Don't know how that works. That. Visibility off in one of the layers. On or off. No, I wouldn't know how to check for that. No idea. I can't fix what I don't know what to.
By layers, I mean the sources tab for that scene.
No, I don't have it set up that way. Each scene has its own. Just has one source. I don't know which one you meant to use. No idea. No, it's got me beat. I wouldn't have a clue what source to even put back in it. Find the right one. Got window capture, play capture. I don't know which one it's supposed to be. Sorry about that, folks. But unless I didn't do anything in the shared screen thing that mucked it up, did I? I can tell. Nothing in Zoom that says about it. Share something. Share a video. No, I don't want to share. Share screen, like share a new tab. Just so I shared that. No. And it doesn't even display in the YouTube or the scene.
I see it, but
yeah, we should. We share. Yeah, because I'm sharing it in Zoom, but it's not going out.
Right.
It's not going out through into OBS. Bugger.
You can probably just end the YouTube stream and just hang out here.
Oh well.
Yeah, but you usually show videos to the YouTube stream for the peanuts.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
We just saw what looked like a paused YouTube video about 10 seconds before you return. Yeah, but it's not showing up in my OBS. It shows up in my OBS if it's working. Not working, and I can't even edit it. No editing. Go to properties, and it's telling me in properties, Chrome XE YouTube. Chrome, that's working. Press OK. Nothing shows up. I've got no idea. I've got no idea. No more videos, sorry. I'll just have to talk to Alan about it later.
Yeah. That's a bugger, isn't it?
Yeah. It wouldn't have mattered if only one of them worked. At least I could still use it, but it's both my YouTube one that I use for normal YouTube full screen, and then I use a scene below it that I use for text. So if I opened up Wikipedia or whatever. Where's the Wikipedia? Get that. So if I open that up, no, it's not even showing any Google Chrome stuff. That, all that. Oh, I tried room fondle. Well, we've been going for 3 hours, so I think that'll do it. We covered a little bit, but we'll see if we can cover a little bit more of the woodworking carpentry on Saturday. I'll end it anyway because it won't matter. Thanks guys for hanging out anyway. Thanks Pheasant Plucker's son. Thanks ML2. Thanks Goddess. Casual Spacey
So
Man.
the Hangout's ending?
Yeah, I'll go over to Discord, and I'll see if I can fiddle around with it behind the scenes in Discord, but no one knows what I'm doing. And Huey. We'll catch us in the next couple of nights. Maybe I might do another hangout on Friday night. I know I'm doing them through Alan's channel at the moment. Casual's still going to help me out one day. I don't know when. Other than that, I don't know.
Yeah, I think a lot of that depends on what Shifty's doing, doesn't it?
You're welcome.
Yeah, we had a fair stab at it, but technology has defeated us.
Well, knowledge of technology, even.
Well, yeah, that's probably more accurate. Lack of knowledge of technology, yeah.
And I won't pretend I know what I don't know.
Fair enough. You mean you don't know what you don't know?
Yeah, I don't know what I don't know.
Darkman was suggesting a topic there, but we did that at the beginning, Darkman. You're late.
Yeah, we did JM last night on Fight the Flat Earth, Darkman. So you missed out on that. You'll have to rewind it and watch it at the beginning. We're talking about that.
And then when you've watched that, go and watch Red's Hangout.
I'm going to watch Red's Hangout. Yes. That's what I'm going to do.
Yes. I've watched about half an hour of it. I actually watched that as I lay in bed this morning. I thought, I need to get up and get me backside in gear and go and watch the actual debate over breakfast, you know, because I knew we weren't starting this until 10, so I've got time. But yeah, I need to go and finish watching Reds Hangout now because, yeah, poor old JM he got murdered.
Oh, thanks, Peanuts, for hanging out anyway. Dartman, John Rapp, Rimfondle, Edens, Dr. Zarkov, Andrea. Oh, sorry, Andrea, you missed out on Anton. Oh, it's a shame.
She's very disappointed.
Oh,
She's
very
so
disappointed. John. Who else? We had. Oh, Peter's gone. Okay, guys. Catch us in the next stream, and over on Discord. We'll go over there.
Yeah.
Say night, Peanuts.
Night, Peanuts.
Night, Peanuts.
Night, Peanuts.
Scorched almonds.
Good night, wonderful Andrea.